Hey, what's going on, guys? Future Voltag here. I just wanted to pop in real quick to say a few warnings about the video. First off, yes, I am blonde. Don't worry, this is going to be temporarily. I'm going to get this cut soon. But for reals, though, talking about the video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is a little bit of a wonky one considering a few things. One, for some reason, my mic sounded a little low in the recording when I've had all the volumes up loud for both OBS and also Discord, so I was confused. But thankfully, it was loud enough for you guys to hear. It's me still, so get used to that. And also, we do cut each other off a lot in this video, and we apologize for that. But just a reminder, we are not professionals. We are not doing this to be like, very professional. Like, we're doing this because we want to have fun. And also, one other thing is that I'm sorry if I fumble a lot in the video. Like I said, still haven't rewatched all of season one. Only watched it like about two few years back, so it's still a little fuzzy, but I do remember something. So I apologize if I say anything that sounds, messed up from what the original was. Other than that, yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna stop it here. And for now, I'm gonna leave you guys to enjoy me and Liv being a chaotic duo in this podcast. Also, make sure to follow Liv on her socials down below in the description, as well as following me in the description as well, including the other boys. All right, I'm gonna stop it there. Enjoy the video. Enjoy the podcast. Love you all. Adios, amigos.
Game, start.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to All Out Studios, where we always go. Ah,
All out.
we got plenty of asses here. Some smart, some dumb, some average sentiment. You already know. You get to decide who's who. My name's Nate, aka Voltake77.
My name is Liv, aka MxLivvie.
And today we're going to be talking about a very popular Netflix series that finally today, at the time of this recording, of course, got their second season. And
Finally!
yep. So I would say the title, but considering that I'm going to be a gentleman and we're both excited, Liv, you get to say the title.
Today we are going to talk about the awesome Netflix Japanese drama Alice in Borderland. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Based on a popular manga series by Haro Aso, the Alice in Borderland show follows a man named Arsu as he navigates through a mysteriously abandoned Tokyo, completely abandoned, where he and others have to play these death games in order to survive and possibly make it back home.
Yeah, it is a fucking wild ride. Like before we ended up getting Squid Games, this was the one like show
Yeah,
uh
like
show that everyone was like into and was like, when are we gonna get a season two? Because it's been a
and then
while.
Squid Game. Yeah, it came out like in 2020, I think.
I
I don't remember.
2017.
I don't remember.
Hold up, we're testing this. I'm testing this now.
Of course, then Squid Game came out and then blew all of that out of the water. Probably for good reason. I have heard it is a good show, but still.
It is, but it's also not overhyped. What is it?
Overrated?
Yeah, a little overrated because it's like people are hyping it up too much and stuff, and it's like it's a good show. I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's just that people need to relax because they go crazy. But anyways, we're not gonna be bad mouthing about. Sorry.
Yeah, we're not gonna be bad mouthing about Squid Game. I was just gonna say I have heard people compare Squid Game and Alice in Borderland, except I don't really think that works because they have different messages.
Yeah.
Thematically.
Oh yeah. So,
yeah. But we're gonna get into that in the episode.
Yeah.
In this episode.
Before we do, isn't this crazy? It's two people for once. We're actually following through with the rule.
Oh wow! Yeah, we are.
Yeah. So
finally.
Finally. So sadly, Adon and Nick couldn't join us with this. Both of them, they're not busy. It's just that they never seen the show.
Boo!
I know, boo.
Squares.
We're gonna try and force them to watch it at some point because it is a good show.
Oh.
But anyways, back on topic.
Right.
So like Liv said, the show is based off of a manga created by, I forgot the creator's name again.
Haro Aso.
Yep. And it follows the story of the main character, Arisu, who we can already officially tell is a fucking gamer. All gamers All the fucking
Well, you
gamers,
could. Well,
rise,
you tell.
bitches.
I actually thought about you guys when I watched the first episode because I was like, oh, yeah, gamers. I know people like that.
Yeah. So from
And
what
that's
we
how
can,
the first episode, that is how the first episode opens with him playing a video game.
and we also learn
So,
he is a bit of a deadbeat. He has no job, he has no life, and he just wastes around in his room playing video games. A little
yeah,
too
and
real.
his dad, though, his family, consisting of his dad and his younger brother, they also just bully him relentlessly for just never doing anything. Although his brother does say, if his brother does say, something like, "I wish it was like it was when before mom died."
Yeah.
So
Well, no, he said,
yeah,
from what I can remember, he said, you were a lot better when mom was still around.
things were a lot better when mom was alive. Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually saw a theory online that said after his mom died, their mother died. Since Arisu is the older brother, he got parentified, and by the beginning of the show, he was just emotionally burned out. I was like,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It does, honestly. But like it's messed up that they bully him to try and do stuff, but at the same time, it's understandable why. So after that, he
Yeah,
ends up leaving his house and officially declares himself homeless, which is the funniest shit
yeah,
ever. And then we move
yeah.
to go ahead.
And then it goes into a cheery pop song called "Good Times," while he texts his best friends Karabe and Chota, being like, "Hey, can I crash with you guys for a while? I'm officially homeless."
And then it cuts to Karube making out with, I believe, the owner's, what is it, his daughter or his wife?
Girlfriend,
Girlfriend,
girlfriend.
there you go. And
Yeah,
it's funny as hell
Bolt's
because
favorite character as well.
yeah. Also, I just realized my hair kind of fits him. I think I'm the Karube.
Oh, it kind of does.
I'm
It
fucking
kind of
bitches.
does. Wait, then
Uh,
who am I? My hair's too short to be my hair's too long to be Usagi, but like
uh, I forgot her name, but it was that girl in the beach place. You know who I'm talking about? The one that went from being a boy
Kuina.
to a girl?
Kuina.
Yeah,
She's trans.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's who I
Yeah,
think you would
Kuina.
be. Because she's a
Oh,
badass.
sweet.
All
Thank
right,
you.
yeah, we go to Karube. He's making out with the owner's girlfriend. The owner comes in, and they're acting like, "Hey, we're working." Yeah, and then it's just like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" To take care of business. Fucking socks Karube across the face. I remember seeing that the first time, and I was just like, "Oh shit!" So this happened.
I started laughing when I saw that. I was
The
like,
same.
what?
I know, same. And then like it cuts to freaking Arasu just complaining like, "Are you ignoring me?" And then it just shows Karube
No,
fighting back.
he's getting in a fight, dude.
I know, and surprisingly, he won with I think one punch.
Yeah, I think it was one directly to the face though.
Yeah.
So,
Then after
but
that,
yeah.
it cuts to Chota, who is currently getting money out of ATM to give to his mom, who I believe is trying to use the money to save the world, if I remember.
Okay, so I think what's up with his mom, like he says in the second episode that his mom is like hyper religious,
Mm-hmm.
and that it cut to flashbacks of him growing up, which like felt kind of like a cult to me. That place. Didn't it? Didn't it? So I saw something online where, or maybe it was my mom that said this when she watched it. But yeah, it was my mom. So we thought that maybe she was giving. That sound in the background is me. My dad is
No, that's
grinding
why I'm
coffee
laughing.
beans. What? Okay, so like we thought, my mom and I thought that maybe like Chota was giving her that money and then she was going to like donate it towards that church that they
Mm-hmm.
were a part of, or I thought originally that it was just him like taking care of his mom because like she couldn't provide for herself at all.
That's what I thought too, actually. But then after rewatching the first episode, I realized, oh, that's probably not it. But
Mm.
it's actually funny because before we continue on, looking back to how each of their scenarios happened, as funny as Karubes was, you got to realize like those are actually realistic shit right there. Like of the
Yeah,
possibility of getting kicked out of your own house, getting fired, and possibly in a fight for something retarded that you did. I apologize for the word.
something dumb. Just say dumb.
Sorry.
Just something absolutely dumb.
Absolutely dumb. And then, of course, obviously having to struggle with helping out family, but then also having to deal with like the fact that, oh, you're struggling as well, but family first.
Yeah, family comes first. And then all with the cheery pasta going, it's good times, it's
Yes, it's
all
good.
right. So get all sunny days around. It's
Yeah,
the funniest thing to me going back and watching it. Like they're
I
all having a
know.
terrible day, and a cheery pop song about good times is playing in the background.
I know.
It's good bit.
It
Good
is.
bit. I
And
love
then they
it.
all text each other letting them know like, "Oh, I'm skipping work. I got fired. I got kicked out. Y'all want to meet up?"
Good
Yeah, good
job
job.
getting
Chota just
fired.
kept saying good job and I was just like
What a sassy dude.
he's like, "Dude, savage."
Yeah,
Uh
they're just like, oh, I just stepped in someone's vomit. Shut up. Good job
Stop
stepping
and
in
step in
vomit.
vomit. Yes. But that shit like it made me happy watching that because it's like, dude, that's like real homies right there when you know they will
That's
fuck with
true.
you.
True
And
friendship.
yeah,
So they all
aka the three
decide.
amigos.
Yeah. So they all realize they're having a bad day. So they decide to meet up and hang out together. That was my dad. Sorry. So they all decide to meet up at Shibuya Station and hang out together. And so that is exactly what they do. And then they accidentally cause a car crash.
Yeah, they because they decided to go into the middle of the busy street of Shibuya to like cheer up Arisu, and it worked for about a good 2 minutes
Like
before
10
the car.
seconds.
Yeah, about
Like
good
two
10
minutes.
seconds. And then
Yeah, at
cars
least.
came.
And then the cars came, caused a car accident, and I started laughing like, "Oh my
I saw that. I was like, "Oh shit, okay."
god!" Going right into that escalated quickly, and
Yeah,
so
and then
they're running away, and then Chota spots mysterious fireworks that go off before they run into a bathroom stall, and they
definitely
think
not
they
because
get
they're
away.
gay.
And so they think they've gotten away, and then the lights go off. Wouldn't it have been insane if like our lights had suddenly gone off?
I know that would be fucking.
As I
Oh
said
no,
that,
dude, the cameras turn off. Oh shit.
oh well, we
That,
can't redo that.
I
But
know.
but then the lights suddenly go off.
I was so
I'm okay. I'm okay.
uh,
And their phones die too. And they're like, "That's what happened." And they walk out of the bathroom stall, and nobody is there. And keep in mind, everybody, Tokyo is a very crowded city. Like I
especially
think it's one of the
Shibuya.
most. Yeah, I think it's one of like the most populous cities in the world.
Yeah, pretty much. They got a
I'm
lot
willing
of
to bet it is. It's
yeah.
populated as hell, man.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and so when they leave the bathroom stall, everyone is gone.
It's actually crazy thinking about it because you're so used to seeing a lot of people there and stuff, and then having to see like
Yeah,
in the show Shibuya fully empty. It trips you out a lot because yes, and we know it's a fictional
yeah,
story, but like, dude, imagine seeing that in real life where Shibuya is just completely empty. You would be
yeah.
tripping balls the whole time because it's like,
Yeah,
what happened?
you'd think you're going insane. And I just looked it up. The current population of Tokyo is 37 million.
Oh
That's
my god.
37 million people just all gone.
Yeah, that's holy shit.
Yeah, it's completely bad. I actually compared it to The Wiz, which is it's a version of The Wizard of Oz that has a
Oh,
lot of like disco and like R&B music attached. It's not attached. Elements in the music of the musical where and Oz and the version of Oz in The Wiz is in abandoned New York.
yeah.
So I kind of compared it to The Wiz. Obviously, the ending of The Wiz is probably much happier than this show is going to be. But, you know,
100%. Speaking of,
yeah.
we have a lot of shit we're gonna talk about with this because after we found out season two came up, oh shit, everything reignited.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Anyway, so their first game takes place in the GM building, and it is, oh shit, what was it?
I believe it was. Oh, I think it was the diamonds. It was the three of diamonds.
Three of
So
diamonds. I'm gonna.
actually, since we're on the topic of that, I want to explain this. It's actually explained in episode two. No, two, not two, three, where
Three
each
of
game.
clubs. It was the
Yeah.
three of clubs.
Oh. Oh yeah, you're right. So each game is represented through the suits, and each suit represents a certain type of game you're going to be playing. I
Of a
wrote down the
card, of
list.
the card, like the suits of a deck of cards.
Yeah. So for instance, clubs is a team battle. Diamonds is a game of wits, so intelligence. Spades, physical, shit. And then hearts is the worst one of them all, emotions.
How
And
bad is it? Well, we definitely found out, didn't we?
oh yeah. So another thing we also learned is that there's also two functions to the numbers of the cards. One of the functions being depending on the number of on the card will determine what level the game is. So for instance, the
Like the
first game they
difficulty
have,
level.
yeah. So the first game they have is the three of clubs, which means it is a level 3 game.
And the second one is that if they clear that game and if they win the game, they get a number of days on their visa, corresponding to the difficulty level. So since this first game was the three of clubs and they won it, they got 3 days on their visa, and their visa determines how long they can stay in this place. They always refer to it as this place, but I've just always called it the Borderlands.
I
Just
know
because
they should have
that's
called
sort of
it that. It was a missed opportunity.
uh yeah.
Speaking of
But
actually, we
anyway,
skipped the
so the
game.
visa what?
No, never mind. You say your thing first, and then we'll go back to the game because we need to explain what the first game was.
Right. So the visa determines how long a person gets to stay in the Borderlands. So if the Borderlands, and if your visa expires before you play another game and extend your visa, shoot,
Yep,
you're dead.
you're dead.
So literally, like your only choice is to keep playing games if you want to survive.
Yep, and if
But
you rather not play the games, then you accept your fate and wait till your visa runs out.
yep.
So
All
the
right.
first game they played was I forgot what the name of it was, but basically it was
Dead
Live
or
or Die.
alive.
Dead or
I think
Alive,
it was.
yes.
Yeah.
So the point of this game was simple, quote unquote. They go into a room and there's two doors in front of them on both sides. One of these doors has a little sweet angel on it that says live, and on the other has a burning skull that says die. They have to choose which door they need to go to in order to move on to the next part of the room and live. Now, here's
And
the
of
thing.
course, choosing live would be the obvious choice,
Yeah,
but
yeah, but it's not as easy as you would assume because
because, yeah. And a little girl kind of proves that when she loses, everybody is getting very confused, and this little schoolgirl that joined them loses her head. Oh shit. Loses her head and, sorry, loses her head and runs for the live door, opens it. Bzz, a
and
laser shoots right through her head and falls to the ground. And she
what's
falls to
gross
the ground.
what's gross about it too is you can actually see like her right eye pop out a little
Yeah,
bit, and I was like, oh my god.
yeah, like the blood bits in her eye, like, oh, it was
Yeah, it
fucked
was
up.
brutal. So, oh yeah, by the way, there's a specific time limit that they have in each room, and if they don't pick the right door in time, a lot of gas will enter and they will get burned.
Yep.
So
But they
after they,
managed to clear the first room, joined by a woman named Shibuki as
yeah,
well.
we'll
Who
explain a little
love
more
her.
about her soon. So
Yeah.
we get through the first door, and then they have to figure out the next one. Now the thing is Shibuki actually throws something out saying like you got to use what you got to use, or got to use what you got to what you have in order to
No,
get
I said
through.
that.
Yeah, you said it, but that's
I
basically
said
what
that.
she said
But
too.
like Shibuki also like a huge argument ignites. Like Karube is like to Shibuki, "You let that girl die." It's just like, "No, I didn't, you weirdo."
No, dude, I don't know what you're talking
But
about.
she dares. But they're all like trying to gang up on Shibuki while poor Chota is kind of vomiting in the background.
Yeah.
And Shibuki dares them to open the next door. She's like, all right, if you have such higher morals than I do, then I dare you to open that door so no one else will die. Go on, do it. And Aris is like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. He goes for the doorknob, and he can't do it. He
Yeah,
can't do it.
it's so hard, especially because when you know that if you get the wrong door, there's no coming back from that. You're
Yeah.
fucked.
And that kind of introduces one of the themes of the show, where it's the lengths that people are willing to go to survive, and
Yeah.
whether or not you can like hold on to like concepts like community and human kindness in a place like the Borderlands. Because as the little girl demonstrated, if you make a mistake or you lose the game, you die. So like
Yep.
literally the only way you can stay alive is by playing more games. So that
Uh-huh.
kind of introduces the theme of what lengths you'll go to survive
Yeah,
and what
and
will be left of you if you make it home.
yeah, and the thing that sucks is that not all games are the same. Each of them are very different. After some thinking and also Karube punching the shit out of Arisu, he
Yeah, he
figures out.
punched him in the face.
Yeah, that's actually what weirded me out. It took Arisu getting punched in the face to realize, wait, there's a pattern to this.
Well,
And
it kind of must have jogged his memory or something.
yeah, so they managed to get through each door thanks to Arisu figuring out. Since Arisu, from what Karube told us, is a very good at solving puzzles, especially because he's
Yeah,
a
he's
gamer.
and also like when we like in the first scene of Arsu like playing the game, it kind of like the camera kind of panned around his room and you saw like he had books on like fractal geometry,
I believe
which
so.
I
Yes,
mean, if y'all have ever been in a math class, like geometry is fucking hard, man.
it is. It fucking
Like
is.
math and fractal geometry. I can't even begin to imagine. Like I don't know what that is, but I'm sure it's very hard. So
Well,
Arsu is smart,
yeah, and he
you
knows
know.
cars very well because we also see he has like a book on cars, so he definitely like understands that stuff too,
Yeah.
and
And
that's
he
what
was
helps
like
him figure
doing
it out.
that, and he was doing that phone game where he was like solving the Rubik's Cube, a very complicated Rubik's Cube, and he was just like playing it while he was ambling down the street like it was nothing.
Yeah, and so
Well,
Karube
he's
fucked that up.
smart.
Yeah, he's smart. It's just that he lacks the determination to like go ahead and
Or
do
it
it.
could, yeah, or it could be that he never really was in a place where he could like tap into it. Like with school, you know, like standardized testing and all that, it can make some kids who, you know, can't really adapt to a standardized world fall behind. So maybe
Yeah,
Arsu is like that as well.
maybe. So as we said, they get through the first game, with a lot of casualties, whether it be mental scars and also Chota getting his leg burned.
Yeah, he
Eesh.
got his leg burned. Oh, dude, it was. I got a shout out to the special effects team of this show
But it looks
because the
so real.
burn on his leg was awful.
But it
It
looks
looked
so real.
brutal.
Oh my god.
Totally brutal.
I've
Woo!
seen I've seen photos of like actual burns like that, and when I saw that, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, I got burned last week. Like I accidentally burned my finger. I'm okay, I'm okay. But I
That's good.
accidentally burned my finger and like I burned my finger and it was only like, you know, a superficial burn that went away after 3 days. It still hurt like hell. So
Oh yeah.
I can't even begin to imagine the pain of a third degree burn like Choda's would have been like.
Yeah.
Woof.
And then that's when we said the visa came into play. They got the three of the what was it, clubs?
Yes.
Yeah, they got the three of clubs. They gained 3 days on their visas, and then a
And
dude came. And then a
I'm
dude
sorry,
came in.
I'm sorry, I just have to do the thing. Game clear.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, that was such a good.
I just had to do the thing.
I know. So
'Cause-
that's actually when a dude comes over and he says, "I'm tired of playing these games. I'm done. My visa expires today. I could finally be set free." Looks up, accepts his face. Yep, game
He
over.
dies.
That's when we
And that
learned
is when
about the whole
they,
visa.
yes. Yeah, I'm sorry I keep interrupting you, man.
No, we both do. Dude, we are terrible at this. This is gonna be
Yeah.
a, so to either the new viewers or to the regular viewers. I hope you guys understand that each podcast we're gonna do, whether it be two of us, three of us, or a four of us, we're always gonna cut each other off.
So many interruptions. Because we're so excited, man. There's always so much to talk about.
Yeah,
But anywho, that's when with that guy, that's when they figure out, that's when they realize that if your visa expires, you die.
yeah,
So with the games, it's like you don't play, your visa expires, you die. You play, but you make a mistake, then you die. So literally your only option, if you want to stay alive, is to play the game and do what you have to do, whatever it takes to survive.
yep. And there's times that you have to make the hardest decisions, and
Oh,
it's not that easy to do.
yeah.
After
It's
that,
really not.
yeah. After that, we get to them in the mall where they're just, just bunkering down, chilling,
Goes
trying to
into
process
episode
everything.
2.
What?
I heard my dog bark,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's okay.
They're trying to process everything that's going on, and then that's when they try and discuss like everything that they've done before everyone disappeared. So the boys end up saying, "Oh, we ran into a bathroom stall to hide because of something,"
And
and then next thing you
Shibuki
know,
gives him a
boom.
bit of a weird look, like, what were you
Yeah.
all doing in a bathroom stall?
They quickly change the subject, like, "So what were you doing before everyone disappeared?" And she looks at them all with like a very concerned look before it cuts to her sleeping with her boss.
Yeah, well, who was revealed to be her boss, but yeah. And it cuts back to her going, like, work. Which,
Yeah,
technically is true. Like, technically she wasn't lying,
yeah.
but
And then
yeah.
that's when she explains about how she was, like doing her thing, and then all of a sudden everyone just disappeared. But then we also learned an interesting fact. For her, everybody disappeared 3 days ago.
Yeah.
But for the
For,
boys, they disappeared a day ago, which was yesterday after when they did the first game.
and Arsu says that, like, when the episode 2 opened, like, Arsu was, like, looking around in all the abandoned cars and he found groceries that had gone rotten. Absolutely rotten. And he was like, so it's 3 days for her, it's a day for us, and those groceries looked like they went rotten, like, weeks ago.
So that really made some
Very
interesting thoughts pop
confusing.
up.
Yeah, and it really, like, they never explain what exactly the Borderlands are.
Yeah.
Like, you only have to rely on theories. Like, what's your theory on it?
My theory was that there was a possibility they all could have been drugged without knowing, and they were put into this somewhat simulation style type of thing where they're basically, still in the world of, Tokyo, but it's an artificial one. And they're going through all these games while people, like higher up people, are watching them, almost like betting on them, like to decide, okay, who's gonna win,
Hmm.
who's gonna die, who's gonna give us our money and shit. And then if someone dies, they either die or get kicked out, all that shit. I believe
Yeah.
that they're forced into a game from somebody who's just doing this for their sick pleasure.
Which, I mean, ended up being kind of right with that. But,
Kind of.
yeah. My theory, just because there's literally no explanation ever given, or even no possibilities. My theory was just parallel dimension somehow. Like, but even so, I'm just like, maybe parallel dimension? Like, it's the best thing I could come up with. People say in the show it's aliens, someone even says it's God. Like,
Sabuki mentioned
nobody.
something about it being a virtual world, almost.
Yeah, Shibuki did mention. So the company Shibuki worked for, like, they had a thing going on with a European company that works with virtual reality. So she thought maybe, but then like Chota's injury flared up, and Arsu was like, I don't know, that pain seems real.
Yeah. So it's
Well,
very.
I mean, well, that introduces the possibility of like they actually burned Chota's leg,
Oh,
which
that is.
is, oh, if that's true, that's fucked up.
Oh, wait, then that
That's
brings back what I
so
said was my
fucked
theory.
up.
Because another part of my theory I said, because I kind of changed it a little bit. I told Liv this like a couple days back. Same
Mm.
thing, forcing this game for their sick pleasure. However, I also said, what if it's possible that the people who died aren't exactly dead? What if they're dead in that world, but they're alive in the real world? And when they wake up, they get kicked out because they lost, and they're forced to realize, oh, they were put into a horrible game, and now
And
their friends
nothing
and
that
family
and
have to
nothing they
suffer.
experienced were real.
Yeah. So
Oh damn.
what if it falls through with that, with again the whole virtual reality thing, and then that's when, like you said, they burn Chota's leg to make it seem real. Otherwise, they're gonna realize, oh, this is fake. We can figure something out.
Yeah. Or maybe it could be like I don't know, that seems kind of dumb. But I was going to say like maybe they simulated it as well. Like they attached like something to their like heads to like that kind of tapped into their nerve ending. So like when Chota's
Ooh.
leg got burned in the game, if they're in this virtual reality, like Chota felt like his leg actually did get burned, but in real life he was fine.
That made me think of SAO a little bit, actually. Now that you say that.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting.
Ah,
But, we don't know because they don't ever explain it to us or
yeah.
anybody else.
Who knows? Maybe it'll get explained soon. But other
Yeah.
than that, after realizing what's going on and also realizing the whole thing with the visa. Oh, actually, speaking of the visa thing, they have the phones for a limited time before it shuts off and they have to get new ones. it turns out a select few of electronics are actually still working, and that's specifically the old-timey ones that don't have, like, the IC chips that Chota was talking about.
Yeah. And that gets back into which makes them talk about the fireworks that went off because Chota thought maybe that it could be that the fireworks were a cover for a massive electromagnetic pulse, which if you guys don't know, electromagnetic pulses or EMPs, they are able to shut off all electronic technology in a given area.
Yeah,
So the
and
theory they kind of came up with was that the fireworks were covered for an EMP that sent out and just shut off all technology throughout the city.
yeah, that's a possibility. But then also it brings up another thing that Arisu picked up, where it was like, if that's the case, then why is it that these phones work?
Yeah,
So,
and also, why do batteries work then?
well, they don't have chips in them.
Oh yeah, the EMP would theoretically burn out all technology. I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand science, or like
Yeah,
our
maybe. I mean,
battery.
I can confirm to you right now, if we were to talk like very logical stuff like science and shit, I'm just gonna stand there being like the whole time because I don't know anything. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, but I was thinking the last time I've rewatched this show multiple times. It single-handedly got me through the last bit of the college semester. But yeah,
What do I
which I
imagine you doing?
graduated by the way. I
Yeah.
graduated by the way. So
Yeah,
go me.
congratulate Liv in the comments, everybody. Which, by the way,
Woo!
why do I imagine you watched Alice in Borderland to be like, okay, now I need to remember everything I learned in college, so that way if this happens, I'm prepared.
I was actually talking to my mom about this when I first told her about the show, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't think I'd survive in the Borderlands." And she goes, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because I'm getting a bachelor's degree in history. I haven't learned anything that would help me in a pinch here. The only way, like anything I learned in college for my bachelor's degree in history, would be if I had to explain, if I had to like evaluate the extent to which." Ideas of femininity changed in the 60s with second wave feminism. Like I can't like that's the only way. That's the only place where I'd be like, "Oh,
Uh,
Liv's time to shine." Other than
yeah.
that, I'd probably just be dead.
I mean, unless all four of the All Out Studios crew decide to team up together with this, who knows? We should actually bring this theory. We'll talk about this later. But this was actually funny because I thought about it too. Like, who do I think would survive? And I don't know why. I thought either Liv or Nick would survive.
Aw.
Adon would probably get us killed. And I knowing me, I'm dead weight, so I'm more than likely gonna be the first one dead.
Aw, dude. I mean,
What?
thank you for saying that I'd survive, but dude.
Yeah, no,
Adad, if you're watching this, he said it, not me.
dude, I cannot wait till we have a rivalry video of me and Adon being like, who's the better person? Speaking of, we're still gonna do that trial with me and Nick on Snivy. Stay tuned for that whenever we do that.
Stay tuned.
So
Anywho,
we
so
go.
Karube and Arsu decide to clear a game by themselves because their logic is Karube's, honestly, because he suggests this, but Karube's logic is that if they go do another game, then they'll be able to learn more information about the games. And Arsu, being the gamer he is, says that they could probably figure out the game master's signature because there has to be a game master behind all of these games. So Arsu, knowing video games like the back of his hand, said that if they clear more games, they can figure out the signature of the game master and hopefully use it to their advantage.
Yeah.
So they go off to clear another game.
And the next game is called Tag. Now, before we do, I would like to say that Liv, if you would like, you can introduce the next character because I'm gonna be real, I forgot her name.
You forgot her name?
Yes.
Dude! All right, okay. So, it is at this game that Arsu and Karube meet Usagi, who
There you
is
go,
just the
Usagi.
bad bitch Usagi. I love her so much
She is.
because she's such a badass. I love her. Usagi is a rock climber. She's a rock climber. She knows how to survive in the wild. She knows how to survive in the wild. She can hunt. Gosh, she's such a badass. So cool. And this skill of hers works out to her advantage because the game of tag takes place at an apartment building with multiple floors. So she is able to climb up all of the floors to avoid the tagger.
Not only
And I
that,
did enjoy how everyone was like, oh shit, that's
yeah, I know.
cool.
Yeah, like it wasn't even just like the viewers; it's the characters themselves. They're like,
Yeah,
"What
like
the
Chichi at
fuck?"
one point going like, huh, climber. Impressive.
Yeah. Oh man. So,
Oh, yeah, we also meet Chishia, who
Chichia.
doesn't really get much screen time. The guy in the gray hoodie with the bleached hair.
I thought his name. Oh yeah, that's his name. Yeah, Chichia.
It's Chishia.
Love him.
We also meet, yeah, he's cool. We also meet Chishia, who honestly doesn't get a lot of screen time in this episode, but he does show up later.
Yeah, and then we also get introduced to some guy named Teta, who I believe is a very. I think he
Hata.
calls. Is that his name or was it someone else?
Hata.
Tata, there you go,
Yeah.
yeah. Who is very oblivious as shit, and you can definitely tell he's a newbie, which, by the way, leads into something interesting. Karube, like, he was telling Arasu, don't, like, affiliate with him, because newbies will slow us down, especially due to the idea that Shibuki did back in the first game, which was a little concerning when you think about it, because it just shows that, like Liv said, the lengths people will go to win and survive.
Yeah. Also, when I watched that another time, I watched that quite recently, and when he said newcomers will only slow us down, I was like, "Aren't you a newcomer too?"
I know. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, he really like just locked in this world. I
Yeah.
mean, good for him, honestly, like for wanting to protect as many people as possible, his friends. But like, yeah,
I know he was going down a dark path, and we see that
yeah.
through the episodes. So
There's actually a ship between Arisu and Karube.
I believe it.
Like people ship them. I could see it as well. Like they're kind of cute together. But
Yeah.
anywho,
So we get through the game, and obviously at first it seems like, oh, it's probably one of the new players that are there. That one of them is the
oh,
tagger. 'Cause
the tagger, by the way, is it's not just a nice fun little tag game where they poke them on the shoulder and go tag, you're it. The tagger has a machine gun,
Yep.
and so if you get tagged, that means you've been shot and you're dead.
Don't they
It's
also have a
and they're
machete?
also in a yeah they do. They're also in a horse mask for some reason.
Oh yeah, that was
I
weird.
saw somebody call it BoJack with a gun, and I started laughing so hard for
BoJack
some
Horseman.
reason. Yeah,
Uh,
BoJack Horseman.
Also, that's actually this episode is also where we learned about the how the different suits for the cards, what they mean. Actually, this is how
Yeah,
we learned it.
that sharp dressed guy that befriended Karube and Arsu told him about it, and then he got shot.
I know. I
So
was so sad. I was
rip
like,
to
oh,
that guy.
I was like,
Rip to
dude, I
that
hope
guy.
this
He
guy
was cool.
lives. Yeah, I was like, I hope this guy lives, and then he dies, and I'm like, aw.
Yeah, rip to that guy. He was cool.
Yeah. So,
Also, rip to those two girls that were dressed really nice. One of them like threw her shoe at the tagger. I was like, oh, they tried.
they tried, but they failed. So their main objective was, of course, avoid the tigers, while at the same time trying to find the, I think it was the symbol to the door to a
Home
specific
base.
area. Yeah, home base, before the time limit goes off. Because if not, it was gonna explode.
A bomb would have blown up the entire apartment building. So they had to avoid the tagger while also trying to find the home base area, and because they would find the bomb, and they had to defuse the bomb.
Yep.
But they managed to do that. Arsu and Usagi managed to shut off the bomb together, and they cleared the game. And you think that's going to be the end until the tagger removes their mask, and it's another woman, and it's a woman, and a strange collar around her neck starts to beep really rapidly until
Yep. Game
Yep.
over.
for her and for the other tagger as well.
So this lets us know that the Tigers weren't like just people that they randomly had from the higher ups. These were also players.
Yeah, they were playing a game of their own because it cut to a shot of the tagger's phone and it said game over.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
really fucked up to know that that's why with the club. But the thing is though is that this wasn't a clubs, was it? It was the spades.
I think it was the spades, yeah.
So that's why it's almost like I feel like it could have also been clubs if you think about it, because it's two people against a group of team people. And so, oh, by the way, speaking of that, for two people who are trying to survive, they killed a lot of fucking people.
Oh yeah, they did. They certainly did.
It is my favorite
That
episodes
is
of the
what's
show.
kind of. Oh, I do love that episode so much. But that is still kind of screwed up because even if those characters did like survive, even if they managed to kill everyone and survive, they would still have to live with all of those deaths on their conscience.
Yeah, unless they're
So
one of those
it's really like unless they're unless
heartless.
they unless they have bloodlust and they like killing
Oh
people.
yeah, no, you gotta watch out
But
for those people.
you know, but given how the woman was like was like she was crying before the bomb went off, I don't think she was one of those people.
It looked like, yeah, she felt like she was forced because she had no other choice, and then she was sad
Yeah,
that even if she was to continue, she already lost, so she has no second try, sadly.
yeah,
It is the saddest thing in
yeah.
the world. Oh, and also, Karube actually, after getting his shit kicked in by one of the horse people,
Oh yeah, he
actually
got the crap beaten out of him.
finds out that there is a special location somewhere where called the beach, where people are there in safety.
Yeah, because there was a guy, with a guy named Agni who also shows up later in the show. He sadly gets shot. But Karube finds in his pockets a walkie-talkie, and someone on the other end is saying, "Return, return to the beach."
Yep. So that
And
was
they're
a
like, "What the hell is the beach?"
before we figure it out, cliffhanger episode ends. Also, Chota got laid for the first time. I had to bring that up. So
Yeah. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? You know how in the first episode when they were like, when the three guys were like, discussing like what this world is, and Karame was like, "You're gonna die a virgin" to Chota.
oh my
When
god,
that,
oh my
when
god.
when when Shibuki, because it was Shibuki, like Chota and Shibuki, they slept together during the episode, and when it cut after like it cut while Chota was praying, and it just cut to black, I was like, I was truly speechless. I was just like, well, at least Chota's not gonna die a virgin.
Yeah. And then
That's literally
episode
all I could think of to say.
yeah. And then episode 3 comes and
Oh, this game. So this game is the game that they're playing this time with all four of them: Arsu, Karube, Chota, and Shibuki. Is I'm sorry, my TV is still on Netflix, and it's showing a still of Alice in Borderland. God, I love this
my
show.
TV's still on too, actually. I was just watching
Oh my
episode 2.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, so all four of them go to botanical gardens to play another game, and this one is a Seven of Hearts. And now, as Volt said earlier, heart games are ones that, with the heart, they toy with your emotions and they force you to betray each other.
Yeah.
And that's certainly, yeah. So this game that they're playing is called Hide and Seek, where and they all also get collar bombs around their necks as well with like goggles. So this game, Hide and Seek, one of them is designated the wolf, and the other three are designated the sheep. And these roles can switch if you ever make eye contact with each other. So like, okay, so like, well, say we're playing this game and I'm the wolf.
Mhm.
Make eye
Ding.
contact.
Make eye
So
contact.
since we made eye contact, the roles would switch, and Volt would become the wolf. And oh shit, I better run.
Yeah. So from what we can assume, it actually is that you have to be the sheeps in order to survive. Otherwise, the wolves will, more than
Either
likely.
that, yeah, more than likely kill you. So like either you avoid the sheep, yeah, the wolf. No, it was that
No, no.
from what the players thought, like the one that has to hide is the wolf, because if you become the wolf, then the other players are going to try and kill you, because you want to avoid, because like the logical leap would be to avoid the wolf, you know,
Yeah. But
avoid the
then
wolf to win the game.
But then they realize something is that obviously, oh yeah, by the way, so they're also in a time limit, and whoever is, the wolf supposedly was gonna explode and kill them. However, later on they realize that's not the case. It's not that whoever's the wolf is going to die. It's all the people who are the sheep who are going to get exploded by their collars, and the wolf will survive. So instead
Yeah.
of
So that devolves into, we're interrupting each other again. So
this is going
that
to be a
makes it
messy
devolve.
podcast.
Yeah. So that makes it devolve into just a huge, huge fight over who is going to be the wolf. Because going to be the wolf. And we get back and we get into another theme of like living for something, like having
Yeah.
something to live for. Because Shibuki kind of brings that up when Arsu. So at one point, Arsu becomes the wolf, and Shibuki, he kind of runs into Shibuki, and he's kind of like looking away, but Shibuki tells him, "You have nothing to live for, but I have everything to live for. So let me become the wolf, because someone who has something to live for should live." And we get into kind of Shibuki's own motivations. So remember how when it originally cut to what she was doing before she got into the Borderlands and she was sleeping with that guy, as Volt said, I'm sorry, just cut to Knives Out. I really gotta watch that. But anyway, so as Volt said, that guy was her boss, but she was doing it in order to get a promotion at work. Which, first of all, we're not gonna shame her for that. We're not
Yeah.
gonna shame her for that. That's because, as my mom brought up to me, and which it didn't really like click in my head until my mom said it. But as my mom said when she watched this episode, immediately she said, "That's sexual harassment." Like
Oh shit.
Shibuki has been sexually harassed.
Oh shit.
So yeah, so we're not gonna shame that. We're not gonna shame it. And as I was saying to Volt earlier when we were talking about the show, you do what you can with what you got, you know? And
Yeah.
there's no shame in that. So that is also another reason why Shibuki wants to live, because she just got that promotion and she had to go to such lengths to get it, and she was like, I am not going to waste this chance.
Yeah, and that's also, if you think about it, because she did do that with her boss for that, she also kind of did the same thing with Chota, if you think about it, because
Yeah, to kind of manipulate him as well.
yeah, and in some ways it worked for a few minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
Because after that, it devolved into everyone fighting to try and survive, except for Chota, who just wants everyone to be alive and happy.
and
So,
stop fighting. And so he
yeah,
kind of actually like tackles Shibuki and kind of like keeps her from getting at Arasu, who is also being pursued by Karabe, who
yeah.
is he kind of flipped out.
He went from being like the
Kind of
overprotective
started freaking.
brother.
Yeah, he kind of started freaking out a little bit, I think.
Yeah, but it was also for a good reason, because just like Shibuki said, everyone had a reason to live. And Karube's reasoning to live right now at the moment is, oh, my girlfriend could possibly still be alive. She's probably at the beach that we heard about. I need to live so I can go see her. So that's why
Yeah,
he kind of went from being, okay, everyone needs to survive, to, you better give me that fucking role right now.
exactly. Yes. He also brings up that Arsu is a university dropout, which
Yeah.
again, I mean, there's no shame in that. But in a place in like, it's also said by Chota, I think in episode 2, that Arsu comes from a respected family. So I thought
Hmm.
maybe that was also kind of why his dad really just hates him so much, is because they're such a respected family, and then one of his children is a college dropout.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is realistic as shit, by the way.
Oh, that is so realistic. Oh my gosh.
It is actually,
Yeah.
this is where you see the emotions turn, because like we stated, a lot of them change, with Shibuki and Karube fighting to survive, Chota just wanting everyone to stop fighting, and Arasu
And
freaking
our
out, not knowing what to do, because on one hand he wants to live, but he's also scared because either his best friend is going to kill him, or more than likely he's going to die, and he doesn't know what to
yeah.
do. And then as he's by the way, each of them have comms on the collars too, so they can actually talk to each other when they're
Yeah.
far away. And
Yeah, and
after
Arsu keeps apologizing, and Karabe is like, "That is all you ever say," which is, oh my gosh. I mean, that kind of hit really hard for me. I
and
mean,
then
my thing isn't saying I'm sorry so many times, but like, yeah,
I'm like that though. I say sorry a lot. But this is where the turning point really comes into play, because I believe it was Chota who was the one that said this. He started making a speech mentioning how, like, We
He said
could have all been happy. We could all, you know, have lived for this and stuff. But
he
we
said, I
all
don't care. I don't care who lives or dies. I just don't want it to end this way.
when this really like turned for everybody, where Arasu was now saying that he wants to try and give it to somebody, but Chota doesn't want it. He just wants everyone to stop fighting and live and be
Yeah.
happy.
It does kind of make
Shibuki's
Karabe calm down as well. He's like,
yeah. And then it
yeah,
turns to Karube actually mentioning what he said at Shibuya before everything happened, saying that if there was a zombies apocalypse, Arasu would actually be the one to survive because he's the smartest
yeah.
between the group.
I,
Even
when I realized, we'll talk about that in a second. But
yeah,
so Arsu, after remembering some very, very nice, very sweet memories with his friends, coming to save him from a shitty night at home where his dad and his little brother are shitting on him yet again, and they talk about all the dreams they have for each other. Arsu decides to drop out so that one of his friends can live because they're really all he has.
however, they prevent him.
However, yeah, he runs around trying to find them all, trying to find them, but they start hiding, and it splices between that scene, like those scenes of him running, trying to find people, and them hiding, with the rules of the game on the screen that say for the sheep, hide so the wolf doesn't find you, hide well sheep, and so I saw somebody put it as they win the game, they don't hide out of fear, they hide out of love for the wolf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then that's when
So they
Arasu.
choose to sacrifice themselves. So they've all chosen to sacrifice themselves for Arsu because he is
Well,
the only
Shibuki at
one that
first
doesn't
didn't.
have a bomb. Well, yeah, true. In the manga, however, I did see that Shibuki also like talks to them about the first game she ever played. That was, I think, also a Hearts game, and that everybody died there because of her. So in the manga, it's explained that the reason why Shibuki also hides from Arsu is because she doesn't want any more like deaths on her hands.
Yeah. And that's actually where it cuts to a scene where Chota is hugging her and him hugging her back. Both of them just accepting their fate, and then it comes to the one scene that really tore us
Oh,
apart. It cuts to Arasu looking around till he finally finds Karube sitting
here's
on a pole.
Karabeko. Here's Karabeko. I'm behind you.
Yeah,
And it
and then
cuts to
turns
him
around. He's
smoking a
smoking.
cigarette and looking off into the distance, going, Arsu, thank you.
Yeah,
And then
and Arasu's
three, two,
2, 1.
one.
Dude,
And
when
Arsu is the only one left alive.
when I saw that scene, I
Dude,
yelled
I
like,
was stunned.
I already want to cry.
Stunned.
I already
They
want to
they really had me. They really had me. I
say
really thought they weren't all gonna die. I thought maybe at the very least that Shibuki might die, because she's not part of the boys, like the
nope.
boys in this
The
friend
boys.
group. I was like, no, they probably have enough plot armor to survive a couple more episodes.
And then
Nope.
yeah. What makes this heart
Nope.
wrenching too is the fact that I think between like Arasu, Chota, and Karube, Arasu and Karube had the strongest bond. So when Arasu witnessed his like best friend just die right in front of his eyes, that really broke him.
Well, I
To
think it would have been the same. To be fair, I think it would have been the same thing if he watched Chota die right in front of his eyes as well.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Oh, dude, it would have been worse if he saw both of them die at the same time.
it absolutely. That would have been fucked up.
Yeah,
That would have
so
been so
it
fucked up.
actually
But
doesn't show Chota and
yeah,
Shibuki die, but it does show the blood and stuff on them.
yeah. Can we though? Can we appreciate? I would just like to take a minute to give a shout out to Arisu's actor Kento Yamazaki because, whew,
Yeah, he really.
his breakdown at the end of that episode where he's just screaming, like he's not even sobbing, he's not even crying anymore. He's just screaming. It's very good. He's a very good actor, and I actually would
He
encourage
is.
everybody to like check out other stuff he's in. He was
Yeah.
in a live action adaptation of Death Note, like a drama series version of Death Note, and he's pretty
Oh.
good in that as well.
Yeah, dude. So after that, we
Yeah,
move on to the next episode. We see Usagi, I guess, gathering stuff up before she just randomly
gathering
sees Arasu.
supplies.
Yeah, and then until she randomly sees Arasu laying on the middle of the street, looking like he just wants to die because he
I
just
actually wrote a, I actually wrote a, sorry, I actually wrote a fanfic based around that, like how like between episode 3 and 4, how he got to like the street. I made it a Sandman crossover as well, just because I'd be like that. But yeah, poor guy,
Yeah,
poor guy.
it is emotional. So Usagi finds him, she offers to help him, but he wants to just, lay there and die. And then as he closes his eyes after Usagi leaves, he wakes up to find himself in a tent with Usagi outside just cooking.
Technically a warehouse, I think. I think it was a Yeah, it was a warehouse.
But there was also a tent. She also slept in a tent.
Yeah, well, you don't want to sleep in a dingy warehouse.
Yeah. So after that, that's when they start talking to each other, letting each other know, like Usagi actually lets,
Usagi does actually kind of pick him back up
yeah, by even like,
as well.
she like makes him see reality and to accept it while at the same time just trying to find a way to make him come back from being
Yeah.
broken. And then after
I
that, they
actually
make
really liked I actually really liked how she did it though. And that she didn't like force him to do anything, but like she also didn't give him some like pretty like fluffy sugar-coated words about how like oh like everything happens for a reason, they're in a better place. You can do more now. She didn't give him any sugary words. She heard because she could relate because of her father, who was also a rock climber that mysteriously disappeared once on a climbing trip, and so she had experienced the same as Arsu. And
yeah,
so I did like how she didn't like sugarcoat it. She didn't feed him any bullshit. She just told him, "Your body is saying it wants to live." When like they heard Arsu's stomach growling, she said, "Your body is saying it wants to live. So live. Eat your food. Pick yourself back up and live." And I really liked that, you know?
yeah. And she did like it probably would have been nice if she did say live for them as well, because then that could have also gave him some boost. But at the same
I
time,
feel like at the same,
it's
but
better that she didn't though, because it makes it feel like more real and more like, yeah, like this is
yeah.
something people need to understand.
Yeah, like I feel like at the same time though, if she had said live for them, it would have like fallen into like, like the trite territory. Like just being like some sugar-coated words.
Right, right.
Instead of
Yeah.
like she acknowledged like how bad she didn't like try to minimize how terribly and grieving how much he was grieving and how awful he felt. She didn't try to minimize that. She didn't try to tell him to fight through it. She just said your body is saying it wants to live.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on that phrase because it's just so good.
Yeah. After that, they make a new formed alliance with a little bit of some awkwardness, mostly from Autosuit because he's never been around a girl before.
No, I think he has. I think he has.
Well, you
It's
know what I
just,
mean.
dude. Yeah, Choto was the only one of that group that was a virgin. So I think he's been around girls before.
Yeah. So after they make this alliance, I think Arasu does explain to Usagi about the whole beach thing that they found out. So they try to like
Yeah.
figure
They do
that
clear
out,
a game as well.
which is I believe which one was it? That was the bus one, right?
Yeah, it was the bus one.
By the
That
way,
was
I
the
need to
four
actually
of that was the
uh
four of
of
spades, I think.
I think so. Was it? Yeah, I think it was.
But
So
that episode was actually kind of important in that it kind of put everything into perspective for Arsu because they met that team of three guys who
yeah,
teamed up and were friends, and
it
yeah,
reminded
I
him
think it
of
kind of helped. It reminded him of him and his friends, and I think that game also, well, kind of like getting him back on his feet, also kind of helped him to process a bit.
yeah. So the point of the game was you had to reach the goal before the time limit. And in order to do that, they have to use the phones that they have to, figure out the distance of it. At first, when I heard distance, I was like, okay. When I saw it said 0, immediately I was like, huh. And then when they started moving, the numbers kept going up. And then it said, wait, find the
I
distance, reach the goal. The distance will
Yeah, and
start
like
going down.
yeah, Arsu kind of said as well, like, we have to reach the goal. So why do we have to keep running for so long? Like, why are we running for so long?
And then that's when they realized, oh shit, the goal, they were already at the goal.
It's revealed at the end of the episode that the bus was the goal the whole time. They started from the bus. They could have just stayed at the bus. I kid you not, man.
It's,
I started laughing so hard
I
when I
know.
saw when it was revealed, oh boy.
I think it's also
And
fucked up
anywho,
because it also like the words "goal" was actually spray painted on the bus,
yeah,
but
like
nobody
dude,
noticed.
well, it was a very graffitied bus.
That is true, but oh man, dude, like that's fucking hilarious. But also just shows just how much people need to
Like
like.
in kind of in a tragic sort of way, you know?
Yeah, but it also like just kind of shows like how smart you have to be to figure out how each of these games work because they should have realized like when it said distance, they should have remembered, oh yeah, when you're going to a certain area, it would start going to zero to let you know, oh, you reached your destination. But since they're in that survival for the fittest mentality almost, they kind of forgot about it and just started
Yeah,
doing what they were told
yeah.
in the different
So
way.
they
That's why.
clear.
Sorry.
Sorry. So they clear the game, and Arsu tells Usagi about the beach, and they decide to stick together and join forces to make it to the beach. And episode 5, they do make it to the beach, and they meet the beach's weird leader, nicknamed Hatter.
Hatter, yeah.
By the
So,
way, I should like say now, since the show is called Alice in Borderland, so obviously that makes you think of Alice in Wonderland, for good reason, because there are a lot, all the characters, they all have a parallel to characters in Alice in Wonderland. So Arsu is Alice because Arsu means Alice in Japanese. Usagi is the white rabbit because Usagi means rabbit. Um, I can't remember what Karube and Choto were. I think Choto was the walrus. Um,
oh
but
shit,
yeah, and Hatter, of course,
Mad Hatter.
duh, is the Jabberwocky. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Just
He's
Jabberwockies. I
obviously
was gonna be like, what the fuck did Jabberwockies make an appearance in the show?
no. Hatter is obviously the Mad Hatter. Duh.
Yeah, and then it also fits perfectly too with the theme of Alice in Wonderland because of the cards as well.
Oh, hold on. What? Sorry, that was my dad.
Yeah,
Um,
that's gonna get cut off just to shorten it.
yeah. All right. So, anyways, so Arisu and Usagi make it to the beach, and they meet the beach's weird leader, leader named Hatter, who tells them a very interesting little thing about how if they collect all the cards of the game, because when you clear a game, you get a card from like a deck of cards. You get the card that corresponds to that game. So like when they cleared the Three of Clubs game, they got a Three of Clubs card. So Hatter explained to them the theory that the whole beach was operating on, that if everybody collected all the cards and all of the suits, someone would be able to leave and go home. Except for, of course, the face cards, like the Jack and the Heart and the King and the Queen. But we'll get into those later.
Yeah.
So he explains this theory to them. And he explains the rules. He explains that you have to give up your cards for the good of the beach. You can do whatever you like. You can drink, you can smoke, you can screw, do whatever you like. Um, Two, I believe that was what it was. Surrender all of your cards to the leader. And three, death to the traitors.
Yeah.
And that was the rule that made me kind of be like, oh, so this is a cult. It's absolutely a cult, isn't it? We're both agreed.
Yeah,
Beach is a cult.
it is 100% a fucking cult. Like it looks like, oh, like just a bunch of these people partying, doing what they can to survive. No, it's a fucking cult, but these idiots don't know.
It's also because like there's a group of people at the beach called the militants, and they are the only ones at the beach that can carry around weapons at any time. Everybody else, and they're a very small group of people. So like only a few people have weapons. Only a few people are allowed to have weapons to keep order. You have to surrender all of your cards, which effectively could be like all of your possessions, to the leader, and you're killed if you try to leave or try to betray or try to go behind their back. Yeah, this is a cult.
Yeah, and also it doesn't help that half of those people are fucking insane.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, at the very most, One dude is insane.
Yeah, and that's the dude. That's the bald dude with the katana who looks badass, but is terrifying as
Last
shit.
last boss, yes.
Yeah,
Last boss's parallel actually is the Jabberwocky.
that's fucking
Because
funny.
but like so last boss, for who doesn't know, has like all these tattoos over his body, and you know how his face tattoos, like over his eyes,
Yeah.
kind of makes him look like a dragon.
Oh shit! Wait, you're right.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
fuck! I didn't
So
realize that until now.
his parallel is Jabberwocky. We reunite. We see Aguni once again in
Yeah.
another game. In a game, Aguni, his parallel is the Bandersnatch, and he leads the militants as well. And there is a member of the militants called Niragi, who is a sick son of a bitch. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
He is a sick son of a bitch. His parallel is the March Hare, which makes sense because the March Hare is just off his rocker, and so is he.
Yeah.
I like
So.
Alice in Wonderland too much. But
uh,
anywho,
so that's after they realize that they all also find out they have to be split into groups to, like we said, do games and collect the cards. Which, by the way, there's also another rule: they have to wear like beach clothing at there,
you
so
have
they
to
have to
wear
wear like
bathing
short.
suits.
Yeah, they have to wear
You gotta
bathing suits.
wear bathing suits because the logic is that if you're wearing like these bathing suits, which don't leave much for the imagination, then you can't hide any weapons on you.
That is true. As weird as
Me
it
just
is, they're
being
not
like,
wrong.
yeah, I mean, like as crazy as that is, it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just me being like, can I wear like shorts or something?
Meanwhile, me, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just keep the shirt on. I'll wear shorts, but I'll keep in the shirt on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after that, they actually, I believe, Usagi and Arasu get split up into different groups. Correct? No,
Yeah.
yeah.
They get split up into different groups. Usagi, I think, plays a game called Bingo or something in a match factory.
And then Arasu, meanwhile, plays another game. I don't remember what it was called, but it was basically where they had to figure out which one of those three switches turns on the light. Only issue is when they see the light and they turn the switch, it doesn't turn on. However, when they shut the door and turn it on, that's when it turns on. But
Yeah. And
they
they
don't
also
know.
have to deal with a room slowly filling with water and like open like electrical wires.
Yeah,
So
and I
if
think
the water gets to a certain level, certain height, then they all would have been just electrocuted.
I
So, and
think
the only
one
way to win that
person,
game, yeah, one person actually did get electrocuted.
yeah, I think they touched it because they were like curious or something, and they just killed themselves by accident.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, all
Oh,
right.
it's like, oh, that's one body out.
But
That's one body out
yeah,
the way.
yeah. So they also in this game Arsu reunites with Tada, who he's okay. He's all right.
Yay!
He
I love
found
you,
his way
man.
to the beach, and I think he kind of works as like a bit of a handyman now. They also meet An, who is she's so cool. She's the one with like the short hair and the sunglasses and the red lipstick.
Yeah, yeah,
The cold woman, the cold
yeah.
cold woman.
The
And
cold woman.
she's a cold bitch, and I love her. We
Yeah,
also meet Kuina.
who is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Kuina, she's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's so cool.
So after some figuring things out, Arasu then has the knowledge of, oh, wait a minute, we actually could figure out which light is the one by turning them on one by one and then checking the heat. After they figure out which switch it is, they quickly turn it on, and thankfully they win the game.
Yeah.
Just in the nick of time too, because that water was very close.
Oh yeah, it was so close. I was so nervous
I know, I
that
was
it
like,
was
oh my
gonna
god, no.
like I was so nervous that it was gonna like lap up and accidentally like hit the thing, and then they were all
No,
just gonna die. I was
we
like,
were fucked up.
oh, so fucked up. They
Now,
also
wouldn't that be a twist?
wouldn't that be a twist?
Like,
They also what?
like I was gonna say, wouldn't that be a twist of what if like it planned for Odyssey to live this long, kill him, and then make it where Usagi was the real protagonist the whole time?
That would have been crazy. I oh shit.
I know that could open up a
Whoa.
whole new book for us.
Fanfic writers out there, get on that. Get on that AU, guys. Y'all gotta get on that AU. Hell, I might get on that AU now.
I'll fucking help you. I
Wow.
make fanfics too. I'll help you.
Right. I actually thought of a cool dark AU a while back where like by the time they got to the beach, Arsu was kind of like he had like lost his like hopeful side, but he still got kind of jaded enough to be like, okay, I have to take more divisive action here. So he and Usagi they team up and they slowly start instigating like a coup at the beach. They slowly start like inserting themselves into like the executives that run the beach. Into like Arsu gets in with Hatter because Hatter likes him for some reason. Usagi gets in with the militants, under Agni. They slowly like insert themselves into the beach. They start manipulating things, and then Arsu instigates a coup and just takes over the beach, and he becomes like, and he and Usagi become like the heads, and then I haven't written this out yet, but I will. But I was planning at the end for them to suddenly turn to Hatter, and I was thinking maybe Arsu could do this because it would have more impact. But Arsu puts a gun to Hatter's head and goes, "You know about the Game Master. You have contact with the Game Master. Tell me everything that you know." And they take them down with more manpower this time.
Damn, that would have been an interesting universe to see, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stay tuned. I may write that. But
who knows?
anywho,
So after that, they end up continuing with the games, and they're actually doing really good. They get so close, except this is the one part we didn't explain. Each game, like we said, is a different suit with different numbers. However, Liv actually mentioned this. There's also the face cards, the Jack, the Queen, and the King. No one has ever been able to find a level that had the Jack, King, or Queen. And no
nope.
one knew why until Hatter realized why. It's because we had to collect all of the cards leading from the ace to 10 in each suit in order to unlock the king, queen, and jack. And that made me think, oh shit, that means that levels 1 to 10 are the normal levels, while the jacks to the kings is the master level, which is one of
They're
the
like the
hardest
more
difficulties in
advanced
games.
levels.
Yeah, the ones
Yeah.
that like are like, yeah, if you fuck up, you're screwed.
Yeah.
So
And like it's honestly it was kind of fitting that we opened the show with Arsu playing a video game because all of this really is kind of reminiscent of a video game.
yeah,
Like all the little games are like levels in a game, and then like Volt just said, the face cards are like the more like master levels of the video game.
think of like when you think of like when you beat a video game and you complete everything 100% and unlock the secret level, which is a lot harder than the original. It's like that basically. So
I
now,
remember Dan and Phil unlocking a secret advanced level for a Crash Bandicoot game, and they played it multiple times while screaming every time they died. But yeah,
yeah,
it's like that.
yeah. So after some times of figuring things out, I think there's a situation that happens where
Yeah,
one of
Hatter realizes that his visa is about to expire, so he has to go play a game, and he does. And then Hada comes bursting into An's like little workroom or something where she's dissecting a brain to find a microchip, as one does. And he's like, "There's a problem. Hatter's dead."
oh, at first people
Because,
assume it was probably the game, but then we
but
get
then An
revealed.
finds a bullet hole in Hatter's chest where she's like, "Oh, this is a bullet. He was shot. He was
Hmm.
murdered." And
And
so
then
they're like, "Okay, well, I guess the second in command, Kuzuryu is his name. Yeah, is gonna have to take over because he's number two to Hatter's number one." And then Naragi goes, "You know what? Fuck that. I think the militants should take over." And he essentially makes everybody vote for Agni, who is the leader of the militants and Hatter's own second in command, apart from Kuzuryu, to take over. So
yeah,
they do.
and it's
And
the
this is
worst idea
bad.
they could make. This is the worst idea they
At the
could
same,
make.
at the same time, though, Arsu has been approached by Chishia, who we saw in episode 2, and who is revealed to be a resident of the beach as well. And Chishia has a plan, who, by the way, his parallel is the Cheshire Cat, which is cool.
Oh shit!
He
Wait, that
has a
makes
plan.
sense.
Yeah, he's very sly. So Chishia has a plan with Kuina, he's kind of partnered with, to steal all of the cards and just leave the beach.
And
Stealing
they
all of the cards first, though, so they can see like if they can leave, if they can go home or something. And he
Yeah.
gets Arsu to join in on this plan, but essentially Arsu ends up becoming the fall guy, the decoy. Which I mean, kind of a dick move, Chishia. Rude, so
But
mean.
also smart. But this is when things get interesting. So he's able to do what's his name again? Chisia?
Chishia.
Yeah, Chisia is able to do it. He fools Arasu and he gets all the cards and he's about to leave, but stops because he notices something that what was it? I have bad memory. I'm slow. It's
Stops. He stops because he sees a red border.
and
And the
he
thing about the Borderlands is when you cross, Shibuki said it in the first episode, that there's like a little invisible border that all of the players cross when they enter into the game, and they can't cross it afterwards. And Shibuki says once you cross the border, you can't leave until you've cleared the game. So there is now a red border of lasers around the beach because the beach has
is the
become a
next.
new game battleground.
And it is
The
I
next
believe it was
game.
called The Witch or something like that, right?
Ten of Hearts, and it was the game was the Ten of Hearts, and it was called Witch Hunt.
Yep.
So there is so everybody, and it involves everybody at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
This was also happens right after Niragi was so close to assaulting Usagi, which is not cool at all. But so all of the people at the beach, they hurry down to the lobby and they find the body of a girl named Momoka, who is dead, who has been killed with the knife through her heart. And so the rules of the game is that they have to find the witch that's killed Momoka and burn her outside in this like whole bonfire that's called the Fire of Judgment. So they have to find the witch that killed Momoka and burn her in the Fire of Judgment to win the game.
And that's
And then
where
of course
shit goes down.
oh yeah, and that's of course when chaos erupts. Because some of the militants, Niragi included, that little psychopath, decides that if someone at the beach is the witch, no one's gonna give themselves up as the witch willingly. So why not just kill everybody at the witch, burn them all in the Fire of Judgment, and maybe the witch will appear in the mix.
AKA genocide speedrun any %.
Yeah, let's just kill everybody. And Niragi, of course, goes Yahoo! And starts just shooting everybody.
Yeah, it is the most fucked up thing to see. It's like it's not even like
Arsu,
friends are betraying friends.
yeah.
It's fucking psychopaths going on a genocide run while everyone's trying to survive.
And it's like it really is like that's one of the reasons I think why it is I know the main reason why it's a hearts game, but another reason why it's a hearts game is because the beach has been lauded as like this like paradise of safety. Like the beach is a safe place where these guys can forget about the brutality of the Borderlands for a while, and it's like their safety net, and their safety net has been ripped away. Has been just ripped away, and so they kind of have to deal with that now. At the same time, while all this is happening, Arsu is like tied up in another hotel room. Like he's not a part of the game now. So and his visa is about to expire. So Usagi grabs a phone for him and teams up with Tata and Momoka's best friend Asahi to go and find him.
Soon enough, and then soon enough they're able to find him. Thankfully, saving him and getting him into the game in time before his visa could
Just
possibly
in
kill him.
time. Yeah.
And now it's up to all of them. Sorry, you go.
I was just gonna. This entire time, Agni, who has in the past been kind of acting as like probably Niragi's only like thing holding Niragi back from just going completely insane. He's like the only authority figure Niragi has listened to.
Yeah.
Agni is letting all of this happen. And it makes you wonder, why is he letting all of this happen? Is it just because he wants to find the witch, or is it because of some other reason?
Yeah.
And so Usagi manages to rescue Arsu, and they hug, and it's very sweet. Yeah. Arsu also has another flashback to another. It's like I think it's supposed to be like a dream thing because he kind of like hits his head at one point. He's trying to get out of his chair. He falls over. He hits his head. I think it knocks him out, and he has a dream sequence of Karube and Chota again. And did you notice that in that flashback, they're wearing the same, in that dream, they're wearing the same clothes as the ones they were wearing when they first came to the Borderlands?
Oh shit, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And so they're just discussing like memories, reminiscing. And then Karube and Chota turn to Arsu and go, Arsu, live for us, okay? live a good life for us, all right? And that gives Arsu motivation to get back up and keep fighting. And then Usagi rescues him, so he's okay.
Yeah.
So we get into episode 8, where there's like what 20 minutes left of the game.
Yeah,
So
20
they
minutes
gotta
left,
find the witch, and no
and there's
one
a
has
lot of
found the
bodies in the
witch yet.
fire.
Yeah. And, the militants are starting to, at this point, question everything they're doing. To which I was just like, you've been killing people for almost 2 hours, and now you're starting to question what you're doing? Like, get the hell out of here.
I know, right?
I'm
Yes.
sorry, but, dude. So,
Uh,
everybody gathers in the lobby. By the way, oh, shit, we forgot Kuina fighting last boss.
oh yeah, so Kuina fighting last boss was one of the coolest scenes in the world, and also it had me
So
at the edge of
fucking
my
cool.
seat.
So fucking cool. In
So this
that sequence, we learn about Last Boss and Queena, but I'll let you explain because I've been talking a lot.
So I don't know much about Last Boss, so you're gonna or remember much about his, so you're gonna have to explain that after I'm done. But for Kuina, she wasn't always like this. Apparently, back then in her past, she wasn't actually a she. She was a he who really just loved women stuff. So he always like wore like makeup, sometimes dresses, and he really disappointed his father to the point that he was disgusted by what he was seeing
It's
and
the
was
tr-
trying to
it's the transphobia for me.
yeah
From
and
the dad, not
yeah yeah yeah
Queena,
yeah
from the dad.
so he's trying to do all these things to make him basically become a man, but of course he doesn't want that. He also tries to force him to learning like I think what was it, karate or jujutsu?
Karate, yes,
Yeah,
I think.
karate, which by the way, they are able to use in this fight, so good for something. However, he doesn't always want to live this life. He wants to live the life he wants, and because of
Yeah,
that,
so his father, not his. So Kuina's father kicks her out
mm,
after discovering that his child is trans. He kicks her out to the dismay of her mom.
hmm
Um, and so Kuina is able to, I think she's able to, she transitions. She's able
yeah,
to get a job. She's able to get her life together. And she ends up doing just fine. And she reunites with her mom. And her mom is the motivation that Kuina has to get back home. So she can like take care of her mom. By the way, I heard that in the manga of not long after Kuina was kicked out, her mom divorced her dad.
Ah, get
Like that
fucked.
wasn't like the immediate reason why. Like there were problems going on long before that happened.
Yeah,
Like I feel like though Kuina getting kicked out just kind of tipped that Jenga tower.
yeah. No, I believe you use Jenga
Yeah.
as a,
Yeah. I'm
uh,
just saying, man.
yeah, but you're
But
not wrong.
we do get a very nice flashback of Kuina finally reuniting with her mom in the hospital where her mother is, and her mother goes, you've come back. You're so different than before, but you're so beautiful." And
Yes.
it's
So this,
so beautiful. Kuina is
um,
such good transgender representation, I swear.
it wasn't forced either. Like this was like more of just a surprise shock. It wasn't even like, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
it wasn't Yeah, and
it's
it wasn't Kuina's entire character.
yeah. And what I love, okay, I'm gonna use an example Adon actually used for us when we were doing the Ruby podcast. It's like it's like a piece of cake. If you let us eat it like in a regular pace, we'll enjoy it. We'll enjoy it fully. But if you force it down our throats, it sucks ass. I'm butchering it a lot. I don't remember how it went, but it was the basics of that. And they let
Mhm.
us eat the cake one by one until it led up to that moment, and it was worth like the time to eat the cake because
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, and I liked how Kuina didn't really like run away from her past. She kind of honors it in that fight. Like, did you notice she took that kind of the same fighting stance as her dad at one point?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
took the stance and even did some of the moves that he did.
Yeah, and like she followed his advice to her that he gave of never hesitate to deal the final blow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and in the end, she was able to do that and kill last boss. Who, by the way, Jesus Christ, the dude like I don't remember much, but I know
Crazy.
for a fact he was like I think a scared little boy before slowly turning insane.
Yeah. Well, that could apply to Naragi as well. Because the only reason we get for why Naragi is such a psychopath was that he was bullied as a child.
Yeah, he was like really bullied.
I think to be fair, bullying is taken a lot more seriously in Asia than it is in America.
Yeah.
So that could be it could be like culture differences that we're experiencing, but still, dude,
I
come
mean,
on.
well, I mean, if you actually
I
really
mean,
think
it's
about it,
to be fair. I think to be fair though, I think at where I'm at so far, they just show the one flashback. You know,
yeah,
after a whole multitude of scenes of Naragi just being awful.
yeah,
So I think it hasn't been balanced out yet. I hope that changes.
maybe, but yeah. So with all that said and done, they're doing this. They're trying to survive. They're There's bodies hitting the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. I had to throw it in there. I had to throw it in there. I had to throw it in there. If you all can hate me in the comments, I don't care. So, like I said, bodies hit the floor. Everyone's trying to survive. Arasu and everyone else in the meantime are still trying to figure things out. Like, who is the witch and how can they, like, find them? And after some time, they find out who the witch is, and it's someone that nobody suspected at all.
Yeah.
So we get to the close to the ending scene of the episode where everyone is gathered up in the main hall where the body is, and Arasu is face to face with the main dude
Agony.
of who?
Agony.
Yeah, Agony, and it looks like Agony is ready to kill Arasu before Usagi and
He,
everyone.
I'm sorry, but I thought it was I just thought it was so funny that like half the episode is spent with Agony just beating the crap out of Arsu.
Dude,
I just
actually, you
thought
know what I
it was
realized?
so funny.
I just
Like,
realized something.
what?
Like throughout every episode, it's just little by little we see Arasu get his ass kicked little by little each episode.
I know, right? Up until the final episode where he just gets curb stomped
He gets
by
fucking
Agony.
murdered.
I remember telling my mom that if this were a more comedic show, like it would have been hilarious. Like if this were a more like comedic show, if at one point when Agony like once again starts hitting Arsu for the umpteenth time, Arsu like falls to the floor and goes, "Damn it, why?"
Come on again.
Like seriously. But the reason why Agony keeps beating the crap out of Arsu is because Arsu also figured out who murdered Hatter.
Yeah.
It was Agony. Agony and Hatter had a confrontation inside a place that Hatter used to work called a host club that was also called The Beach, where
No, that
I think
actually
he got
explains a lot.
fired from. Yeah, where I think he got fired from. But they have a talk about, and Agony is like, I am losing control over Naragi and the militants. Like, we got to do something. And Hatter is too like hyped up on his crazy power trip, saying that people at the beach need hope, and I can give them that hope. But yeah, and so then they both draw guns. Well, first Hatter draws a gun, and then he aims it at Agony, and I think it's implied that Agony's like used to be in the military.
Mm-hmm.
He was a military man, so I think it
Actually,
was
yeah.
that Agony's like soldier instincts kicked in, and he shot Hatter.
Yeah. And I think wasn't it proven that Hatter didn't have bullets in his gun?
Yes, that is like such a bombshell that's dropped in the episode that like another part of the flashback, Agony like goes up to grab Hatter's gun and he opens it and there were no bullets in the gun. So
Yeah,
Hatter wanted him to do it.
Yeah, Hatter
It's
was
it,
pushing him to the limit.
yeah, it is implied during like so in like the episode 5 I think it was when there's a moment where between Hatter and Arsu where Hatter is telling Arsu about like his past at the host club, the purpose of the beach and everything. And it's implied, I think, and it's implied a little bit that Hatter knew he was going crazy. Like there was some part of his head where that he knew he was going crazy, and he just wanted all of it to end. And the only way and the best way he could think of was essentially a suicide.
Yeah. It's just suicide at
And
that.
that's also why, yeah, and that's also why Agni was so just letting all the militants kill everyone and burn everyone at the beach because he blamed the beach and everybody at the beach like worshiping Hatter like some sort of like cult leader god figure for making him go insane
Yeah,
because
we're
it
gonna
added
keep saying
to
it's
his
a
whole
cult.
power trip. Oh yeah, it's a cult.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it added to like his whole power trip that was making him go crazy. So Agni blamed the beach.
Dude, if you and I were actually in there and we actually were introduced to the beach, I'm pretty sure after we get the explanation, you and I would look at each other, then look at Hatter and just go, "So a cult."
No, literally, we'd just be like, no, even better, even better. Like the second we get like the second like everybody walks away and we're supposed to be like putting on our bathing suits or whatever, we're just like, so we both know this is a cult, right?
Oh, 100%, this is a fucking cult.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
every time, and like when we're walking around the beach, we're looking at everyone, we're like, yeah, that's definitely cult style. That's definitely a cult thing. Seeing people drink, I'm 100% sure that's a blood cult.
No, 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 no. Like we run into Arsu and Usagi, and we're like, oh, you just got here too, huh? They're like, yeah, weird place, isn't it? Yeah, it's absolutely, yeah. You guys know it's a cult too, right? They're
We're
like,
like, what? No,
huh?
this is supposed to be a safe haven. No, it's definitely a fucking cult. How do you
And we're
guys
just
know?
like,
They're just like, how do you
buddy.
guys know? Look around, bro. It's a
I'm just
fucking
like,
cult.
I'm just like, dude, you seem smart. What the hell? Like, you gotta surrender all your cards. You surrendering all your possessions. Only a select few people can have guns. You have to follow exactly what the leader says, and you're killed if you try to leave. This is a cult.
Also, main thing you also need to realize, dude, everyone is worshiping the Hatter. That's a fucking cult if I've ever seen one.
It's a cult, baby. It
Yeah.
is a cult. So Arsu has figured all of this out. By the way, I would just like to say that there were 20 minutes left at that point. Like Arsu had been in the game for 5 minutes, and Chishia, who was like held up, who is supposed to be like probably like the smartest person like that we've met so far. He's supposed to be like a very clever, very intelligent person. Not even Chishia knew who was the witch, and Chishia didn't even know who killed Hatter. So Arsu is my man's a genius.
Yasuo is a fucking G, man. Like,
He
again, like I
is.
say, gamers fucking rise, baby. Because not only did he use his skills, like, in video games, he used his knowledge that he learned from school and stuff, and it helped him, like, essentially save everyone's life in almost every game.
Yeah.
Except for the witch
So
one,
who
because we lost a lot of lives.
Yeah, true. But who is the witch, you may be asking? Well, Arsu figured that out as well. So at this point, it had been like almost 2 hours, and no one had been revealed as the witch, which makes you believe, well, then I guess nobody at the beach is the witch. So if nobody is at the beach is the witch, but somebody still killed Momoka, then that means Momoka
Gotcha.
herself was the witch.
Yep.
Momoka killed herself. And it's explained in the manga why she did this was because she wanted to hold on to the belief that humans could be kind to each other, you know? And she didn't want people to die, so she decided herself to be the witch, to kill herself. So no one no one had to die. Obviously that kind of failed, but
Obviously.
I can, like, which honestly just kind of makes it all the more sad because they all kind of proved Momoka wrong. They all kind of said Momoka was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that just makes it really sad. So, rip
Yeah.
Momoka, you deserved way better than this.
Yeah, and then after that, though,
That
Kaguya.
though, Aguni starts
Kag-
fighting everybody else, saying like, "No, you're wrong. I'm the witch." Everybody attacks Aguni, and Asahi, who's been very quiet so far, she goes, "I'll distract them. I know how." Arsu, end this game. She goes up and goes, "Everybody, listen! I'm the dealer of this game!" And then, whoosh.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so Asahi revealed herself, and Momoka as well. Like, Momoka is a dealer as well. Asahi revealed herself as the dealer of the game, meaning that she set up the table, she put out all the phones. She didn't kill Momoka, Momoka did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and now we're introduced to something called dealers. Dealers are the people who, like, set up the games for the game master. And sometimes they even, like, insert themselves into the games to make sure people die. And it's explained slowly in the episode because Asahi like recorded those videos. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, Asahi explained in the videos that like they do all of this in exchange for more visa days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was another thing as to why Momoka killed herself as well, was that they heard a rumor. Like no one knows if you can leave the Borderlands or not. It's all just rumors. But Momoka heard a rumor that if a dealer gets to 100 kills, or like however many kills, then they can leave the Borderlands. And Momoka killing herself would have been Asahi's last kill. And so Asahi might have had a chance to go home.
But she decided to stay to watch the rest of the game, and then decided to sacrifice herself after
Yeah.
realizing that her own friend's hopes and views was sadly shattered.
It is implied, like there was one moment I think in episode 7 where they were like fighting off the militants trying to get to Arsu, where Asahi kind of whimpers, "I can't do this anymore." And so after you watch that episode and it's revealed she's a dealer, that to me kind of says like she's not just talking about like the games, she's also talking about like I can't be a dealer anymore. I can't watch all of this anymore.
She can't stand the bloodshed anymore. And yeah, like this is why the show is so good. It plays with your emotions every time, not just for the viewers,
Yeah.
but each characters as well, showing how each of them like go through this thing like, oh, I have to witness all these deaths. I can't take it anymore. I just want to die. Or
And it
I
really
love
shows
it.
like
Let's make it
and it
more.
really yeah, it really shows like what paths you can go when you've witnessed all of this.
Yeah,
Like
some
you can
people
hold on, you can choose to keep fighting so that fewer people have to die, or you can even take part in it.
yeah. It is such a fucked up thing, but it's also like one of the most coolest ideas I've ever seen.
Yeah.
After that, they all win the game. Everybody is
Nuragi
fucking
is
traumatized.
Yeah, Nuragi, Aguni goes out amazingly because Nuragi was burned previously, like set on fire by Chishiya in episode 7. So we
Yeah.
thought he was dead. And then rifle shots ring out, like killing more people. And it's revealed to be Nuragi, who is burned to a crisp, but
Yeah.
he's still alive. And so he tries to kill Arasune Usagi. But then, in a rapid moment, change of character, change of heart, Aguni puts himself in front of Arasune Usagi and sacrifices himself for them.
May the man rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
He went from being
Although
a psychopath to
honestly,
a hero.
well, maybe not a psychopath, just like a very jaded man. But he revealed himself as a good guy at the end. It's
Yeah.
actually implied in the trailer that Aguni may come back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But we'll save that for the end. So they all win the game, at a very heavy price. Holy crap. They watch the beach burn down, and An just goes like, guess that's the end of our paradise. And then
Oh.
Last Boss actually gets a very good ending line where like right after she says that, it cuts to a voiceover of Last Boss as he's dying where he goes, "There can be no place on earth where we are truly safe."
It is
I was
such
like, ooh.
it is like the most ominous and hard-hitting
It's
line
so
ever.
sad.
But it's also like it hits with the viewers as well, because if you think about it, that's reality as well. There's no
Yeah.
real place we can be at where we're really safe, like whether it be
Yeah. And
because of emotional shit or other stuff.
that's something you discover when you grow up as well. And,
Yeah,
like this place, your home that you thought was like so safe you could potentially realize that it's not the place you thought it was. It's not as peaceful or as happy as you thought it was.
yeah. As a kid, everything was fine. As an adult, you realized, oh, the world is a lot darker than we expected.
Yeah. Yeah, but I do like that the show intersplices that message of like, yeah, the world is kind of a shitty place with this message of it doesn't have to be as bad if humans are kind to each other.
Yeah.
Like it has a message to be kind to each other. Like I saw a thing very recently where people asked Haro Aso, people were asking like around Twitter and stuff about like what 3 skills they thought one would need to survive the Borderlands. And they asked this question to Haro Aso, who wrote the manga, who
Right.
created Alice in Borderland, and he said a good heart, kindness, and a sense of humor. And
Well, one
I just really like that idea of, because I don't really like dark gritty stuff where it's like, oh, the world is a terrible place, and if you're hopeful then you're naive and stupid. No, this show just kind of goes, no, hope isn't a bad thing. Hope is a good thing.
Yeah, it's only the only way it becomes bad is if you let it become bad.
Yeah.
So after that, and they've got all the cards, everything is done, and they actually find,
Arsu
yeah,
Arsu
you
and
said,
Usagi, they find Asahi's phone where she recorded all of these like confession videos. Um, and it's really sad, honestly, because Momoka and Asahi, they were wearing like school uniforms. They were kids,
yeah,
teenagers probably, but still, they were children.
and they had to
It's
witness all this horrible stuff.
horrible. And they had to like set it up and even carry it out themselves.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But anyways, so thanks to Asahi's phone that she left behind, they were able to find a way to the headquarters, like the headquarters of other dealers that were in the Tokyo subway system.
Yep.
And they expect to find all of the dealers and even possibly the game master there. But when they open the door, everybody is dead.
Yeah,
Everyone is
that
dead.
took me out, actually.
Yeah, I was like, what?
It's like,
You know what I you know
what?
what I also thought? Like, you know how I said like if this were a more comedic show, like Arasu getting like punched in the face so many times would make him go, damn it, why? I
Yeah.
also thought it would be funny if this were a more comedic show, Arasu sees all the dead bodies and goes, oh come on! Another plot twist! I just want to go home! How much more do I have to deal with?
It's like,
He's just
dude,
like he's
I
just like,
worked
oh
so hard.
come on!
I feel like that'd be me. Like if I was in that game and I saw that, I would be like, so you're telling me we went through all this shit just to find nothing? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, yeah,
Where is
yeah.
this
Like if we were
bitch?
there, like if we were there with them, like it's like you know the ominous music, the ominous dark music with like our Sunasaki looking around in shock, and it suddenly cuts out with you being like, "Oh come on!" and it
No, no,
cuts
no.
to
It's
us
like
looking around angrily. We're just like,
it's
"Come
like
on!"
no, the episode's about to end and it just cuts to me and you seeing the body and it's just like, so what the fuck?
No, yeah, like if the episode cut out right there, it's like, "What the da da
Yeah,
da da
like
da."
Spider-Man style.
Yeah, that would have been funny. But you
Yeah.
know, we would absolutely be like the comic relief characters. It'd be
Yeah, we
great.
would. I feel like people would get annoyed by us, but then love us, and then be sad when we
Oh,
die.
but you know what though? You know what though? Within the game though, we could use that to our advantage. You know, because everybody would like dismiss us as like, oh, the comic relief American characters that don't know anything. But
Yeah.
then plot twist, we actually become good players because we can manipulate that dismissal of us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
we
Like
can
it's
do
like, oh,
that.
we don't know what to do, and then we get people to either do the shit
Like
for
we
us or
speak
make a
in like
mistake.
or like maybe like there's an episode where like that introduces us that reveals this where like you know we're kind of like sticking to ourselves looking around like cracking jokes or something and you know speaking in like broken Japanese or something
Yeah.
and then by the end of the episode we look around and then we start speaking more fluent Japanese
Yeah.
like we did it we survived another game.
No,
They
it's just
really
like
fell for it this time, didn't they?
no, it's like I could imagine it's like Onisu Usagi survive with us. We keep speaking to them in broken English, like goodbye, goodbye, like as they leave, and after they're gone, it's just like in English translation because I don't know Japanese. It's just like, oh man, this was a lot easier than expected, huh?
I told you it's easier to fake not knowing a language if you don't know it, right?
Yeah, yeah. How long do you think we
Oh,
can
and
keep
then
it up?
plot twist. And then probably for a little while longer. I'm not sure, but we're going to have to just use it because the best strategy we've got so far.
We're gonna get
Make
this,
it
win
back
this
though.
with ease.
We will make it. This will be easy. And then like we high five, and then it cuts to black.
Yeah,
Plot twist though. Arsu heard a bit of our conversation.
yeah.
And so the next time we meet him and they're speaking in broken Japanese, he, in a more polite and eloquent way than, because Arsu is not as blunt as I am, he'd just be like, all right, cut the crap. I know you guys are putting on a show.
No, no, no,
And we're
no.
like,
Imagine we get to the like there's a game where we all have to solve it, but specific people have to have a certain thing. But for some reason no one is able to find all those items to live. And that's when he quickly points us out. It's like we're talking broken English before this like, well, I heard what you said and I'm not falling for it. And we just look at each other, look at him and just go, so what's the plan?
yeah, we're just like, ooh, yeah. Or we're like we're all confused at first, like, huh? What are you talking about? He goes, I heard you. I know you can speak Japanese. I know you're not just dumb and naive. You're putting on an act so you can survive, aren't you? It cuts to us like, he got us. Oh shit, you got us, man. You are the first person we have met. How many people have we met in this place?
Too much,
How many
bro.
people?
Too fucking much,
Too
dude. You have
many.
no dude. Oh
Too
man.
fucking many. And you are the first person to ever figure us out. Be proud of yourself.
You know what, man? Just for that, here, you can live with us. It's like, come on, just
Yeah,
take it. Just
yeah,
take
here
it.
you go.
Comes up
Yeah,
to
just
take
for
it.
that.
Comes up to take it. It's like, come on, come on. And another one bites the dust.
Yeah. We should probably run though, because his girlfriend looks like she's gonna kick our ass.
Yeah, it's like fuck it. Yeah, run.
Sorry, sorry, you guys make a cute couple though.
Still in the episode, we're like celebrating eating food, and then after like one of us leaves to take you leave to like go use the restroom. You come back, it's like, hey bro, how are things going? And you just see me tied up, like because Arasu and Usagi caught me.
Yeah, and like Usagi's like tightening the knots, and Arasu's like waiting for me to come back. Like, dude, what's going? Oh, you
So
guys again.
it's just like, woo.
I can't hear a damn word you're saying. Could you take off the duct tape? I gotta hear what he's saying.
They take it off, and I was just like, bitch, I was saying run. It's like instead of me going like help me, I was like, bitch, you should have just fucking ran, you dumbass.
I'm not gonna leave you behind, you asshole.
They saved me later.
And then we eventually like team up with them.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, this
All
is
right,
staying in the
we
podcast,
got.
just letting you know.
Oh, absolutely! It absolutely is. It has to. It better.
So,
So,
yeah.
so they reunite with Chishiya and Kuina, who've survived the beach, and they get into like, who exactly is the game master? Chishi's like, I don't know. He could be aliens, could be God. And I did love that the most intelligent, logical character is going like, I don't know, maybe God.
Yeah.
And then all of the screens light up. But then all of the screens light up, and you hear a voice. And the game master is revealed to be Mira, who was one of the executives at the beach.
Yep.
So she was there the entire time watching.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah. The
After
plot
that-
twist caught me took me by seriously took me by surprise.
I was just confused because like my
Yeah.
brain
When
like
I was looking. What?
yeah, I was
Go
gonna
first.
saying like I was so confused when this plot twist came up because I was like I was already scattered brain from everything that happened that when I saw this I'm like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. It kind of makes sense looking back though, because like Mira never really, she kind of like kept out of the way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like she kind of made you kind of disregard her almost because of how she like kind of kept off to the side and didn't make a lot of comments
Yeah.
because she didn't want to attract attention to herself. But I do remember, and I hate to be a true crime nut like this on Maine, but another show I like to watch is Criminal Minds, and in some episodes, yep. And so sometimes, according to Criminal Minds, of course, like I don't know shit about real like criminal justice procedures, but one thing that a criminal will sometimes do, like a serial killer, is insert themselves into the investigation to either like throw off suspicion or see how much the police really know. So it kind of reminded me of that. I was like, oh, she's inserting herself into the Borderlands.
It also kind of
She kind of incorporated herself into the Borderlands to throw off suspicion.
it kind of also makes me think of like that one like quiz question thing of like are you a psychopath question where it was like somebody kills a person in an elevator with see through glass, walks out, and instead of leaving stays behind and watches the body. And then it's proven like the real answer to that is because there's a lot of people looking at the body, and if he leaves, it puts suspicions on him. So he stays there to throw off suspicion. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. It also makes you wonder just how like screwed up in the head Mira is, because she's like watching them die in real time.
Yeah. Yeah.
She deliberately set herself in there. So Mira is revealed to be the game master, and she says, "Congratulations! You all have collected all of the number cards of all the suits for each game." And they're like, what does that mean? Does that mean we can go home now? And she goes, but just think of how many people had to die for you to get this far. And it starts showing footage of all of these players dying, and including scenes from the footage from the botanical gardens.
Oh, no.
Specifically, Arsu shouting Karube's name right before the collar bomb went off. And you see a close-up of Arsu's face as he's looking around at all of this. And she goes, but now, since you've all collected the number cards, we have a surprise for you. And they're like, what is it? We're going to have new games!
Yeah, and then in
Yeah.
come the face cards.
The face cards. I love thinking about how, like, if you and I were there, that would be another moment where we're just like, damn it!
Yeah, it's like, are we gonna go? Grabbing each other's hands.
We get to go home? Get to go home? Fuck! Yeah, but you can see on all of their faces, they're like, ah, shit. Like, shit, here we go again.
Me and you walk out of it just like, shit, here we go again.
Yep. But, and so, the way season 1 wraps up is with Chishia, Kuina, Usagi, and Arsu looking up at a screen saying, next stage will commence. And blimps flying around the city showing off all of the face cards. And that's where the season ends. And where season 2 will pick up. Holy shit. What an amazing show, you know?
Man, like I was never really a fan of like thrillers and stuff. I was always like a pussy when it came to that because that's just how I grew up. But then when I like saw it, I was like, you know what? I want to check this out. It looks interesting. And after watching it, I'm like, dude, bring season 2. And I think if I remember correctly, this show came out actually in 2017, I think.
I'm gonna check on that actually, but I like it as well because like I am kind of a wimp when it comes to horror, but I think I've been observing about myself that I'm kind of a wimp I'm more of a wimp when it comes to gore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's a problem I kind of have with Saw, you know, like the Saw franchise that kind of introduced like this death game genre, is that it had a good start, you know? It started off with a real good concept and then it just became like torture porn. You know? It just became
Denise fucking said, I think.
Yeah, it just became like just a bloody gore fest. And like it came out in 2020.
Fuck, okay, so oh shit. Oh fuck, wait a minute. Oh shit, wait. Oh fuck, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I thought it came out in 2017. What the fuck was I thinking?
I don't know, maybe the manga came out. Maybe you're thinking about the manga.
I think it was because I watched this before COVID hit, I think.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it came out before COVID hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I like about this show is that it doesn't ever like fall into like the gore fest territory, you know? Like all of the deaths are very like they hit you, you know? Like they're impactful. And I will say that I do like that they don't have whenever deaths happen, they like with like deaths with the lasers, for example. Like for example when Asagi like yelled, "I'm the dealer of this game!" when the laser came down, I liked that there was no music playing. You know?
Yeah, it just
because
happened.
music can like add to the emotions of a scene, and so and that also means that a lack of music can add to the scene as well. And so the lack of music kind of makes it more impactful. It doesn't make it dramatic. It doesn't make it tragic. It's just and then an unceremonious fall to the floor.
It also makes you feel like you were there because if like imagine you hear this, you're in the crowd, you hear this, you witness this happen, and all of a sudden everyone stops talking, there's no
Just
gas
freezes.
at all. Yeah, you can't hear anything except the sounds of fire nearby as everyone just stares at the body in shock.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of feel like it gave the viewers, and it's like, oh fuck, what the hell, am I there?
Yeah. And it also I think kind of speaks to how maybe like people like Mira, like the game master, kind of view all of these people as just, you know, not anything worth crying about. They just died.
Yeah,
That's
they're
it.
Pawns of their own games.
Pawns, yep. So we've covered season 1. So we've covered all of season 1. We've talked about like the twists and turns, talked about a few theories, we talked about the manga. So I think before we go, we should talk about what we are hoping for with season 2.
Yeah.
Now I should preface this with, before we started this recording, I actually did start watching the show, the new season. I am about halfway through episode 4 right now.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, I'm trying to rewatch all of season 1 so I could get caught up and then watch season 2, which is why during this podcast I was a little fumbling with some of the things because, again, my memory has been jogged for a while.
Yeah, that's okay. But also, even though I'm like halfway through episode 4, I still don't know shit.
Yeah.
I only know like stuff that happens in the games. Like I don't know anything like major.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah. But how
what if
about let's go into some stuff we want to see in season 4 and or
season?
in season 2.
Oh, dude, that'd be cool if we get a season 4 at some point
That
too.
would be cool as hell.
So what I assume is obviously the games are going to be a lot more difficult, obviously. So, like I said
Yep.
earlier, the master levels is how I view it. These are like the levels that you want to go through if you want to challenge yourself. You want to see how skilled you have gotten from playing the normal levels, from either easy to normal and all that. And I assume that the games would be exactly like that, where it's a certain difficulty and it'll trick you into thinking, oh, it's easy, and then trick you into thinking, then make you realize, oh shit, this is hard, while vice versa, oh, this is hard, when in reality, oh, it's really easy. It's just that we didn't notice.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to figure out how much I can say here with that, but I do like that, you know, like the master levels as well. I do hope they get out. You know, I feel like because I heard like they were uh, wrap up the like what happens in the manga with this season. I think they do get out, or at least I'm hoping anyway.
Really?
I hope Agni does come back. I hope
Yeah,
Hatter comes back
that'd
because
be
I mean,
crazy.
like you know, yeah, like he was revealed to be alive the whole time. I feel like it's mainly gonna be flashbacks.
Yeah, I hope
You
we
know?
get to see more flashbacks of Karube and Chota though, because I feel like that would be
Yeah.
really good to see these two back.
Yeah, and it would also like kind of remind us of like what is motivating Arsu as well.
Yeah.
Like he's motivated to like end all of these games so he doesn't have to watch more people that were close to him die
Yeah.
like that.
Ah, dude, you know what made me think realize something? What if there's an episode where they get drugged and they believe they see the people that they lost? So
Oh,
Usagi
like
would see her.
it's like the swamp episode in Avatar.
Yeah.
It's like the oh shit, that would be
Yeah,
crazy.
and then Arasu sees not only Karube and Chota, but his mom.
Ooh, I thought
And
you
then
were gonna say Shibuki because he also has Shibuki's death on his hands as well. Technically,
maybe
I mean, like
Shibuki, but I feel like his mom
yeah,
would be the biggest like hit.
all
And then at
four of
this,
them. It's
yeah,
all four of them.
and then Usagi with her
Ooh.
dad.
Also, I wanted to mention with the dad. Do you think he's in the Borderlands?
I have no
Because they were
idea.
saying like because like you know it had all those newspapers saying like oh was it a suicide, was it murder, did he like off himself or something, like he just disappeared, and he's an experienced climber, and Usagi actually brings it up in one of the episodes. I won't spoil anything, but she does bring it up in one of the episodes, like how people were saying like he disappeared even though he was climbing a mountain that should have been a very easy climb for someone so experienced like her dad. Like he climbed fucking Mount Everest. He acted as a guide. Like he was very experienced, and the mountain he was climbing was supposed to be such an easy climb, and yet he vanished without a trace. So it's like so that made me want, and so like I remember wondering like you think I wonder if he's in the Borderlands.
You explaining all this just made me think of two things right now, dude. One is that
Uh-huh.
yeah, what like so going back to how we talked about how with Arasu Karube and Chota, how they said they were put into the game like after the crash, while Shibuki said it was 3 days ago that everyone disappeared and she was in the game. So it could be possible that his disappearance could have been around the time when he was taken to the Borderlands, but everyone else was still around before they got
Yeah.
taken away as well. But another idea came to mind, and this is a theory that you're gonna go a little silent on probably.
Uh-huh.
What if you're right that he is in the Borderlands, just not as a player?
He's a game master?
Either the game master or he's one of the dealers as well.
Or he's like one of the face cards, like the king or like a king or
Oh my
something.
god, actually, what if they have okay, so one of the things I know about master levels too is they have those secret bosses who are like hard to beat. What if he's a boss?
That's like the king
Yeah.
designation, like the king or the
Yeah.
queen designation. Dude. Oh, that
That
would
would
be
be
so fucked up.
oh no.
What if it's even better? Let's say this actually happens. Say it's a hearts game. Say he's a king of hearts, and Usagi has to fight her own dad.
Oh, that would be
That would be
so
fucked up. That would be
Shit.
so fucked up,
Oh,
dude.
dude. Oh, dude, all the
Ooh.
manga readers or people who've already seen season 2 are gonna be like, y'all are fucking
Yeah.
stupid. We don't care. We're excited to see this.
Or even better, Arsu has to fight him, and it's like a fight to the death. Like one of them has to kill the other, and so Usagi has to watch the two people she cares about kill each other, like
No.
fight to kill each other.
Or
Dude.
instead, it comes down to the final result where Arasu or the dad has to die, but Usagi has to make the choice.
Oh my god.
Who is she gonna kill? The man that
Oh
she's been trying to
my,
survive this world with, or her father?
oh my
That
god.
would be such a shock to see, like, if that was the
Fucked
case.
up. I feel like a good way you could go with that. I feel like this isn't gonna happen, but that's still fucked up. I feel like though, if that ever happened, I feel like maybe I don't know. I feel like maybe Usagi would try to find a way to choose herself.
Well,
Or
maybe,
or that Usagi's dad ends up like she has to like press a button or something, and like if she has to press a button, then Usagi's dad could come in and take her hand and make her press the button for her dad. It's like her dad sacrifices himself, or
Yeah.
Usagi's dad like convinces her to say like I choose my father.
Yeah, another
Like
idea
either
I
way, the
thought of.
dad sacrifices himself.
Yeah, and another idea that came to mind is what if Usagi's dad actually comes in pretending to be a player before and like, but in reality, like we said, he is the King of Hearts, and Arasu figures it out at some point, and he confronts his dad about it, and then Usagi comes in, seeing them fight,
Like,
not
what are you
knowing.
doing?
Yeah, not knowing like what's going on, as Arasu tries and convinces her that he is the King of Hearts, and he needs to like go, like he's faking everything. While at the same time, without Arasu knowing, her dad tries to convince Usagi that Arasu might be.
Arsu was involved the whole time.
Yeah. So they try to
Oh,
manipulate them, and then it's up
that's
to
fucked
Usagi to figure out
up.
who's telling the truth.
Yeah, she has to figure it out. It would
Oh,
be
dude.
cool if like if that idea happened, but then like maybe at the end, maybe like Usagi like starts freaking out so badly, like because you know she's always been this entire time she's been very like put together.
Yeah.
She's been very calm. She's been very level-headed. So like this really makes her like just snap and start freaking out. It's like she finally like lets herself just freak out and panic over just everything that's been going on. And like Arsu and Usagi's dad have to watch, and that makes Usagi's dad have, pun intended, a change of heart. You know?
Either that, or it's kind of like the Wolf game where they have the comms. They can just hear this as Arasu is. I can imagine Arasu would come out and just say, "Just take me and be with your father," like trying to be that noble guy.
Yes.
But then that's when the
He
father would
absolutely
rethink.
would do that,
Yeah, but
honestly.
then as Usagi's getting ready to do it, that's when the father would come in and say, "He's telling the truth. I am the King of Hearts, or I am the Game Master."
Actually, that would be interesting because so far what we've seen with like Asahi, and if they admit that they're or like with like the Jack of Hearts that I've been seeing, if they admit anything, like
They
if
get
they
hit by the
outright
laser.
say like I am the dealer, they get killed by
Yeah.
the laser. So like at the last minute, Usagi's father comes in and goes, "Wait, he's telling the truth. I am the King of Hearts."
Then looks up. Oh, dude, what if? Okay, going back to that. What if her dad? Going back to the idea of what if her dad is more manipulative than she thought? What if Arasu proves him right, saying like, if that's the case, then fine. I am the game master. Looks up and they wait, and nothing.
And there's
happens.
no laser!
Usagi realizes
Dude!
that would be another good twist.
That makes Usagi realize when the
Dude,
laser
we are
doesn't go
coming up
off.
with some good theories.
And it gets and it like is and there's like a flashback to Usagi saying like I'm the dealer of this game and immediately getting lasered.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to Arsu going, "We know that's what will happen if anybody admits it. So, fine. Let's see if you're right. I'm the King of Hearts!"
Usagi like tries to stop him before realizing there's no laser, and then it gives that ominous music as she slowly looks at her.
And there's like that look of realization that comes over
Yeah.
her face as she looks over at her dad.
Yeah, and he just looks. He either looks like pissed, or defeated or like
Just
this is
stony faced. Or like
yeah.
stony faced.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh,
These
dude.
would be, I swear, if none of these
You know
happen,
what?
like, ooh,
You know what I would like to see, honestly?
what?
I would like to see, because Arsu has at this point been kind of like he hasn't, like obviously he's had some like emotional breakdowns
Yeah.
with his, like he's processing grief and all of that.
Yeah.
I want to see him. I think it would be interesting if we saw him in this new season go on a murderous rampage. Like he just
Anakin
like
Skywalker
everything
style?
just like builds and builds and builds and just keeps getting to him until something happens that makes him just snap. And he actually starts like beating somebody and almost beats him to death.
Oh, he
And the
goes
only
Anakin
reason
Skywalker.
why, yeah, literally, and the only reason why it's not actually like beating him to death is because Usagi like comes in and goes like Arisu and like pulls him off.
What if there's a time where like
I
he's
want to
ready
see. I think it would be so interesting if Arsu, who has at this point held on to like this idea of like staying hopeful and being kind and like just continuing to fight, just going on just snapping and going on a rampage.
like what, or we can have it where it's like, yeah, like that, where he almost kills people, and we can even have it where it's like where it looks like he's about to kill someone. Instead of somebody stopping him, he's about to do the final blow, but then he stops midway, having a flashback of Harube, Chota, his mom, his family, everything,
And he
and even
comes back to
Usagi
reality and he snaps out of it.
snaps back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity,
It's gravity.
and then
Oh,
that's when he's
or like he's using or like I got one. He's using like he like grabs a knife and he's about to stab somebody through the heart. Through the heart, and he like brings it, and like maybe like even the person below him is going, "Do it, kill me!" And he like screams, brings down the gun, and brings down the knife, and it freezes
yeah.
just above the heart because then he has that flashback of Karube and everybody dying, and he snaps back to reality.
There goes gravity. or even like that, or even the guy, like instead of him going, kill me, he's like, please don't. And when he stops, he's like, I knew you were good. I knew you were good. And then just makes Arasu stab himself. Like doing a twist. It's just like,
so like making Arsu like stab himself.
yeah, like he's laying down where he's like Arasu's just standing there with the knife like over the guy, freezing as he is like apologizing. He's like, I knew you were good. And when Arasu least expects it, the guy grabs his arm and forces the knife to turn and stab him.
Ooh, that would be really interesting.
Yeah. We are making some good theories, man.
We really are, dude. I think I did see in the trailer it looks like Agni will come back. Which I mean definitely brings forth the possibility of Naragi coming back as well.
Oh, that's gonna be concerning.
Which I mean, I'm thinking he's either gonna get a redemption arc, or he's just gonna double down and keep being a piece of crap.
Probably, we'll see what happens.
Go either way. I feel like he's probably gonna die though. Either way,
he's most likely gonna die.
Yeah. Out of all the characters, I feel like Naragi is most likely to die.
Yeah. Well, I think we've pretty much said everything we needed to say.
Yeah.
Man,
I think we've covered most of it.
This was definitely
fun.
Yeah, this is a fun, messy, but interesting podcast. I cannot wait to do this again at another point.
This show has definitely become one of my favorite shows.
Same.
I'm so excited to see what happens next. I'm so excited to see how it ends. I'm so excited to see if Arasu and Usagi actually get together because it's looking like that's what's gonna happen.
I can't wait to see how this all ends, man. And we are most definitely gonna get Adon and Nick to sit down and watch this shit with us, because
absolutely, we absolutely are. Well, until then, this has been a great podcast. Thank you all for listening and watching, and hopefully, laughing with us. And hopefully, this has inspired you guys to go check out Alice in Borderland on Netflix with its new season having just come out today.
Yeah, so hopefully this video does come out the same day. If not, just know that, hey, at least we recorded it on the day that the season debuted.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. We are sorry this is scuffed. Just remember, every podcast is gonna be like this. We are not professionals at all. We're just doing this for
Yeah.
fun.
No. Yep. Yep.
So,
Until then, I'm Liv, aka MxLivvie.
and I'm Nate, aka Voltake77. Make sure to check out Liv on TikTok and me on YouTube and TikTok. And we will see you guys next time. Adios, amigos.
Bye.
See ya. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello, Liv. Can you hear me?
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Volt, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Let's do this now.